happened in 1964? That's the year Dr. Strangelove came out. We all remember that ending. See? The world's over! Nothing to see here, just like when the 80s ended halfway into the day after. Okay, I suppose some things happened. We had President Lyndon B. Johnson winning the election against Congressman Larry Tate. The Beatles forever changed music and pop culture by single-handedly inventing live television and bringing the gift of hand-holding to America. There was the Warren Commission investigating the assassination of President Kennedy, which resulted in the creation of Oliver Stone. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Martin Luther King won the Nobel Peace Prize, and also nannies can freaking fly. I have a good feeling about the crime rate too. James Bond and Inspector Clouseau kept the entire world safe by having 2 movies in the top 10 American box office. There's Mystery Science Theater movies as well. This is 1964 in film. Probably should have waited till later to shave my face. You'll see this growing throughout the video. Thanks to the magic of film, we can see what the mood of the country was like in '64. The happy good old days. Straitjacket stocks were through the roof. You know it's gonna be a good year when we're starting out with a William Castle film starring Joan Crawford. And with good scenery too.
From the loneliness and simplicity of an isolated farm to the sophisticated elegance of a country estate.
I'll stay at the estate. One of 2 films of the year, directed by Castle and written by Robert Bloch, the other being The Night Walker. This was after Joan's comeback in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which began the Psycho Biddy subgenre, where here Joan is released after spending 20 years in an asylum, and they suspect she may be up to her old murderous tricks again. I like that it's written by Robert Bloch and kinda has the same plot of the Psycho 2 movie, and it hardcore capitalizes on the Bloch and Castle team up. Homicidal? What? No love for Zots? Movies like this make you love Faye Dunaway's performance in Mommy Dearest even more.
Carol and Michael are going to be married, and nobody's gonna stop it!
Screw the Razzies, Faye was perfect in that film. With it being Castle, though, of course there's a gimmick. Audiences got complimentary toy axes. That's nothing. Today it'd be a popcorn bucket. And it had a little joke where the Columbia Pictures logo was decapitated at the end, like when they killed the MTM cat in the St. Elsewhere finale. Of course it gained a cult following. It's a crazy Joan Crawford movie. And one that has the kindness to warn you that there will be axe murders. If audiences are traumatized by that, wait till the Herschel Gordon Lewis movie comes out. That's later in the year though. I'm sure we're getting something more uplifting next. See, the origin story of Marvel's Pyro, obviously. Or, well, it's another horror film, as this is Pyro, the man without a face. Oh, he has a face. Look, that's my stone sculpture of El Santo. We had a movie already that did the book and the trailer trope, and now we're getting another trope, the 60s affair movie, but with a horror twist. Here a man is having an affair, but when he tries breaking it off, she sets his home on fire, which kills his family, then disfigures him, so he says sets out on a bloodthirsty quest for revenge. 4 years into 1960s movies, and finally we have one where there's devastating consequences to an affair. Even though this is January, don't think it'll be just B-movies and horror flicks, because Paramount is bringing us an epic with Cy Enfield's Zulu.
Dwarfing the mightiest, towering over the greatest.
That's some echo. Are you stuck in the middle of a tunnel while recording the narration? The film is a dramatization of the Battle of Rorke's Drift during the Anglo-Zulu War, and they set its release to coincide with the 85th anniversary of the battle. I love a war film where you can set it in fast motion and it'll look like a British comedy.
You're all going to die!
Stares in, what's all this then? This was a highly acclaimed war film, certainly for its scope and its intensity in showing the soldiers under siege, making it a big war epic and certainly a survival film too, and it's known for being a breakthrough role for Michael Caine. I just came off doing 1985 in film, so I'm more used to seeing him deal with water, but this is a 60s trailer, so it'll have fire. Not to mention it was this and not Pyro that had a comic book tie-in, and toys as well. Will it also come with an axe I can use on the playground? Zulu may not be talked about as much today as in the 60s, but January also offers a movie that's wildly acclaimed and considered a classic to the genre to this day.
Blast off!
Now that's how you show a title. Where's the narration?
Dr. Strangelove.
Or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and
Love the bomb.
And that's how you do trailer narration, all horny-like. Here Stanley Kubrick goes for comedy and succeeds masterfully, where even the trailer's like a comedic short film.
10 females to each male.
Jesus, this man's movies knew how to have trailers, based on the book Red Alert, which was a Cold War thriller, but here Kubrick and writer Terry Southern used that as a base to make a stone-cold satire of Cold War paranoia, perhaps why it doesn't show the book in the trailer. The world is about to be freaking obliterated, but that's no reason not to deliver your lines with such brilliant comedic dryness that you can't help but smile, from George C. Scott, Sterling Hayden, and of course the three roles from Peter Sellers, in my favorite of the multiple Sellers in one films, with each of the characters showing his versatility as a comedic actor. It's like Airplane before Airplane, in that playing it straight is the joke a lot of the time.
I shouldn't tell you this, Mandrake, but you're a good officer and you have a right to know. It looks like we're in a shooting war.
hell.
And the ending doesn't pull any punches, probably because they took out the pie fight ending. So here we have the story of just because we're faced with nuclear annihilation doesn't mean we can't laugh about it. We are getting classics early on in '64. Though maybe some audiences want a screwball comedy instead, or a nap? Pillows? Rock Hudson's sleeping bag is talking? Oh yeah, the old "that's not my penis" talking. It's the sleeping bag technique. Why, wouldn't you know it? Yep, penis stuck in the zipper again. Rock Hudson and Paula Prentice star in man's favorite sport when you go out there and try catching scuba divers to sell their meat as barbecue. Here Rock pretends to be a fishing expert, which turns out to be all talk, but a good setup for zany comedy when he enters a fishing competition. This was directed by Howard Hawks, who did it as a throwback to his classic Bringing Up Baby, and he even wanted Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn back for it. But it didn't have the same success as that film. It wasn't a bomb though, and it didn't get terrible reviews. It's just one of those cases where criticism came from it being not up to par with Hawks' classics like His Girl Friday, Sergeant York, or Rio Bravo, but the trailer assures me it will be my favorite movie. Oh no, I'm not getting my dick stuck in the sleeping bag again in the rain. So many 60s staples already. I called 1963 the year of fire, and in 1964 we have a movie named Pyro, but as far as affairs go, this one's called A Global Affair. 60s affairs are finally going international. Not quite what it means by affair, though. January of '64 had more than one political comedy. There was Dr. Strangelove, of course, and now we have this film where a baby is abandoned in the United Nations, and they don't know what nationality the baby is, so swinging bachelor Bob Hope has to take care of it, while also dealing with the fact that no one had a good time making this picture. Because Hope did not get along with the producers. I'm going out on a limb and saying Dr. Strangelove is the better film. What on earth kind of movie will be next?
Skate, dear. Get that little tramp off my bed. And out of my bedroom.
What is this, early 60s bat pussy? Oh, a surf movie, obviously. It's Surf Party, thrown into production very fast to capitalize on the success of Beach Party months prior. This was also a vehicle for singer Bobby Vinton, making his film debut here, and he wouldn't act in much after this. But another movie will keep him and his music famous. This also showcased the music of the Astronauts and the Routers, and I can see why it came and went. I love black and white. I've done movies in black and white. Even here in '64, black and white is still gorgeous, but with a music-filled surf movie, it is a little weird watching it in black and white. Probably why it's a rare example of a '60s surf movie not being in color. Even the month's nudie picture is in color, and that's Dr. Sex, a Ted V. Michaels movie that I should be familiar with, you know, because I reviewed it years ago, but I remember next to nothing about it other than a few things. I remember I did it as an obligation episode, because one of my first episodes was for a movie called Wanda the Sadistic Hypnotist, and I referenced Dr. Sex in it, because it was on a double feature DVD I had, so a few years later I was like, well, I guess I should do an episode on Dr. Sex. You can tell it left an impression on me. I remember that it's about wacky stories from sex therapists, and I kind of remember the ending where a guy turns into a dog. As you do, that's one way to hump the naked girl's leg. Speaking of sadistic hypnotists, should I watch this trailer for Children of the Damned, or will my eyes be paralyzed?
Behind their fiery, hypnotic eyes lurk the demon forces of another world.
Anyway, they're dead now. That takes care of that. A spiritual sequel to Village of the Damned, but here from TV director Anton Leader, who shows a flair for theatrical horror here, where the children are more tragic figures, in a story of the kids being creepy, sure, but they have superpower-like intelligence that makes the government want to bring them in from all over the world.
Rashid from India, Mi Ling from China, Ago from Nigeria, and Mark from America.
You could have just said, and Mark. I'd have gotten that he's the American one. Here, they just don't want to be experimented on, so they fight back by all means necessary, making the adults turn on each other or throw themselves off a bridge.
At this very moment, they could be making all those men out there turn their guns on one another.
Sorry, that's our bad. It wasn't the kids who did this. We're still in a slapsticky war mood after Dr. Strangelove. And we're a little shit-faced, too, from Johnson's bachelor party.
It's a true battle of us or them. I take us.
You damn kids, I'm trying to drive here.
You'll be safe in the next film, because children aren't old enough to get a ticket. My Tale is Hot is a nudie picture of biblical proportions.
Who are you?
I am the devil.
What the hell you say?
My God.
This is where you end up if you listen to that godless surf party music. The gist here is that the devil is pissed because there aren't enough fresh souls in hell since his trophy soul Hitler. So he finds a man voted as most loyal husband in the world to tempt him into committing adultery and going to hell. Really? The devil is having problems finding people who are cheating on their wives in the 60s? Really?
Of all the nudie films I've come across so far, this is the most unrealistic. And I saw one about a guy with X-ray nudie glasses.
Coming up in February of '64, the season of long movie titles continues. First we had Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. And next we have The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
Grape nuts breakfast time.
Good. Crunchy little nuggets bursting with nut sweet flavor.
Well, first we gotta exercise them.
A grape nuts breakfast fills you up, not out. 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 Fills you up, not out.
Delicious.
Welcome to February 1964. Or is it?
Got time for another cup of coffee?
Oh, just about.
We've reached the point where I'm not sure if it's an old commercial that I've inserted in or another sexploitation film. Oh, it's called Sin in the Suburbs. Definitely sexploitation. From director Joseph Sarno, later of Deep Throat Part 2, we've seen the fellas have affairs in every other movie. Now it's the ladies' turn to sleep around on their boring husbands.
I can't stay home.
You would have.
Oh, honey, but I was just a salesman. Now I hold a responsible job.
Is your job turning my vagina into the Sahara because you need a promotion? Yes, the wives have all come together, letting even the high school boys into their homes for some love.
You better hurry or you'll be late.
I'm not going to school today, Mrs. Lewis. I've decided to cut.
Yeah, because I'm a 30-year-old standing on my knees. Will you have sex with me? This was Desperate Housewives before Desperate Housewives. They even start a sex club. By that, I mean doing the twist before the censors shut them down. They're getting so horny, now they're boring their lovers.
Boy, from the time that 7:21 goes out in the morning and the 6:35 comes in at night, how many of these babes have boyfriends who pay them visits?
So, we get a 69 or what? I'm tired of doing the twist. All this sin can only mean one thing. God damn you, devil! You brought your fornication to the PTA board! The only people who win here are divorce attorneys. A screwball comedy like that works best when it has Tony Randall involved somewhere. Hence the next movie.
It is the evening of July 9th. In this suburban home in Pasadena, an extraordinary event is about to take place.
Oh my god, I wish I could stop getting my dick stuck in a vase. A genie? I wasn't serious about that wish.
Look out, world! Nothing's going to be the same again, as this modern Aladdin and his 3,000-year-old imp of a genie flood the screen with surprise after surprise.
I wish for you both to be hot. You know, like the classic sitcom, I Dream of Jeannie. Well, you're close. This is The Brass Bottle, based on the book of the same name, and it was used as the inspiration for I Dream of Jeannie. Hell, it even has Barbara Eden in it, although she's not playing the genie here. This time it's Burl Ives. Hagman, you lucky son of a bitch! He'll use his wishes to get some sex appeal one way or another.
A luscious, seductive, tantalizing dancing girl to your fiancé.
Can you please bring our potato skin appetizers? We are starving. Tony has to get used to the genie's ways, and the genie has to get used to modern society.
100 wives.
It's against the law for a man to have more than one wife.
A revolting waste of manpower.
I mean, well, we can still sleep with 100 other women. He actually does get him a lady genie of the night, and takes care of his boss, too.
Contemptible one, thou hast sealed thy fate.
Oh, no, you couldn't be.
Good Lord, I wish for the Odd Couple series to just get here already. Why is my boss a donkey? I'm already noticing some familiar things about 1964. Keenan Wynn is back? Did Bat Guano get a spin-off from Dr. Strangelove that I'm unaware of? This one is far more serious. You know it's dramatic when the screen cracks. Sure, the world doesn't end in this one, but Man in the Middle plays its wartime story straight. It's World War II, and Robert Mitchum must defend Keenan Wynn in court, who is being tried for the murder of a British soldier and something affair.
An affair so bizarre that its shockwaves reverberated from Washington to London to remotest India.
I've discovered how to perform shockwaves to inject sin into mankind. This one's also turning into a commercial.
The spot I occupy in a situation so tense that one false move can mean the difference between somebody's life and death.
Why, yes, I will purchase that bottle of Chardonnay. Robert doesn't seem too thrilled about advertising this picture.
I'm the man in the middle of a new motion picture which stars the greatest cast that it's ever been my privilege to work with.
Yes, it sounds like you were all very close. Truly, there were tears on set when the final day of filming wrapped, with a supporting cast that includes Barry Sullivan and Alexander Knox, the greatest reporter in Gotham City. It was also directed by Guy Hamilton, and is a movie that came and went without making back its budget, but that didn't set Guy Hamilton back, because he'd direct another 1964 film, which would go on to be one of the best of the year. As for here, though, no clue if it includes an ejector seat. You know what could have stopped this wartime drama? A simple trip to the whorehouse. Long before the Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS series, we had the Olga series from director Joseph P. Mara, showing all the horrors of notorious brothel owner Madame Olga.
Come on, you're doing fine. A little faster now. Good.
It's gonna turn out to be a dog food commercial, isn't it? You know you're watching quality 60s sexploitation when the footage has a tracking problem. Madame Olga's had a tough time. She had to start all over and lead her criminal organization in an abandoned mine.
Olga's House of Shame reveals the shocking truth of a woman cursed with one of the most sadistic and degenerate minds that any one person could possess.
Can you just do something normal, like kidnap children to search for the Shankara stones or something? You yourself had better strap in and submit to the power of Olga, because Olga has 1964 shackled at knife point. This is not the only Olga movie of 1964. We'll be seeing Olga again in the months to come. I think we can do even weirder than that. How about something like Carnival of Souls, if it were in the Arch Hall Senior universe?
Look, then run for your life. Incredible is the word for the world's first monster musical.
See, Arch Senior is even doing the narration. What a lovely singing voice he must have. Not only is it directed by Ray Dennis Steckler, but also starring him too, under the name Cash Flag, as he did one of the best Arch Hall Jr. movies, Wild Guitar. This film, however, is a fever dream of a movie, which has to do with friends discovering occultists at a carnival, but really you're here to put the family on some rides while you catch some skin. It's even advertised like a carnival attraction.
See the dancing girls of the carnival murdered by the incredible night creatures of the Midway.
You want what is your wish? I made a joke about it also having a long title like Dr. Strangelove, but both movies were aware of each other. The original title here was The Incredibly Strange Creatures, or Why I Stopped Living and Became a Mixed Up Zombie, until they were threatened with a lawsuit by Columbia Pictures. But does Dr. Strangelove make these kinds of promises?
See the hunchback of the Midway fight a duel of death with the mixed up zombies.
Nah, that sounds like something Dr. Sex would promise. A gold mine for pretty much every riff show in the decades to come. Truly the most timeless musical of the year.
The world's first monster musical. The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Go see that Mary Poppins or My Fair Lady? There ain't no hunchbacks in those. At least I don't think there are. But only one movie this month will come with the presidential seal of approval. President Johnson is here and he is thirsty for revenge. This political thriller is advertised like an 80s comedy. You're soon to be shaken up by the most awesome 7 days of your life. Woohoo! Cold War spring break! Even the plot is something that could be an 80s thriller, where the president wants nuclear disarmament, then faces a military coup, who fears we'll be sitting ducks for a Soviet takeover. Except if it were an 80s movie, it'd be the high school kids saving the country. Based on a 1962 novel, and from a script by Rod Serling, President Kennedy was a huge fan of the book and even offered his assistance through the help of his press secretary when it was being filmed. Which is called 7 Days in May, except you released it in February, you assholes. This trailer is going through each of the 7 days.
The second day, that uncovered secret meetings in Washington's back alleys.
We will catch him walking into a screening of Sin in the Suburbs.
The third day, when unknown men prepared to kidnap the president from his private vacation resort.
If he's kidnapped by ninjas, I know who to call. Then on the 4th day, the company barbecue got out of hand. On the 5th day, our men are catching up with their mistresses. On the 6th day, we're gonna try out clones of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And on the 7th day, God rested. My, how things have changed over the years. Oh, never mind. This kind of thing happens every day now. What is the threat this week? I don't know. Are they mad about what happened to Joel on The Last of Us? We've had the Cold War this month. We've had World War II. And now we're getting a low-budget Korean War film called Iron Angel, which does have to do with Kennedy in that the director's name is Ken Kennedy. Close enough. Here, American soldiers stumble upon an ambulance and get the idea to use it to lure in the North Koreans they must destroy. Well, I guess we could spare an ambulance, don't you know? January was the month for doctors. Other war flicks included this early Nam movie called The Yank in Vietnam, but how about an early entry in Dallas-based skin flicks? Well, before Debbie did Dallas, we had Naughty Dallas, where the movies can get even weirder. Like, what the hell is that? What are they drinking in Dallas? It's the inspiring story of a girl who fulfills her dream of moving to Dallas and becoming a stripper.
Visit with Tony at the famous Strip University, where a girl learns what really pleases a man.
Seriously, was doing the twist the only way to get a hard-on back then? The film was from trialsploitation director Larry Buchanan. You know, he did Free, White, and 21. And with this being shot in Dallas, it was even rumored to be filmed in Jack Ruby's nightclub, with footage of Jack Ruby himself, something I'm sure Buchanan would take with him when he would direct another trial film, The Trial of Lee Harvey Oswald. It didn't take the skin flicks long at all to get in on the conspiracy theory game. To think Larry could have invited characters from this movie as witnesses.
I wish I could drink like a lady, 2 or 3 at the most. With 2 I'm under the table, but with 3 I'm under the hose. Oh, that's poetry!
Oh man, Lee's trial would have been hilarious. And if Joan Crawford can get in on the psycho biddy genre with Straight Jacket, Betty Davis can too, and even act opposite herself.
You've never forgiven me in all these years. Why should I? Tell me why I should. Now sit down!
2 crazy Bettys for the price of 1? I'm in. This one had the far better reviews between this and Straight Jacket, where one twin sister murders the other and assumes her identity. For fans of the genre, this one's a must-watch, where we get double the camp performance.
I'm Margaret de Lorcasat. As you said, Edie would never have hurt a fly.
Give that woman 2 Oscars! There was also some holdover movies this month as well, as 1964 saw the American release of the 1961 British comedy No, My Darling Daughter, where a girl runs away with a millionaire but falls for the man hired to bring her back, or as the poster suggests, the audience guy from Looney Tunes scolds theater goers for kidnapping the schoolgirls. Going back even further than that is this British thriller, Life in Danger, from 1959, which saw a 1964 American release, and was about the hunt for an escaped mental patient who murders children, where the Looney Tunes audience member is now an incredibly strange creature or a mixed-up zombie.
But for something more current, as in the first low-budget Western of the year, we've got He Rides Tall, starring Tony Young, where a rancher has a cheating wife, possibly from her time in the suburbs, and a gang wants him to go after a marshal after the marshal killed the gang leader's son. Maybe Chef Uncle Ben can calm them all down.
He seems to me to be the kind of man that...
Colonel Dr. Phil has his work cut out for him. Coming up next, another dual role film, more parties at the beach, Herschel Gordon Lewis heads to the Deep South, and the Roman Empire falls due to going extremely over budget.
Hey, a magic lamp. Bet if I rub it and wish real hard, I'll get some tricks. Lucky day, tricks are mine. You're the greatest, oh great magic lamp.
Thanks, Rabbit. You found my lamp.
We may be in March, but that don't mean the Valentine's romance of February ain't still here. What? Kissing cousins? What kind of incest shit is this? Oh, okay, it's a dual-role Elvis film. That means there'll be plenty of girls around here somewhere. For there's girls in them thar hills. Fetch me one car to snatch them all. It's another where Elvis is an army man, but this time he discovers his cousin with his naturally blonde hair.
Josh Morgan, Hidden Rock, North Carolina.
Then you's kinfolk.
Practically kissing cousins.
Somehow this is the same universe as 2000 Maniacs. After all, this also advertises a shotgun blast to the face. Seriously, what town is this? Why are the girls just aimlessly wandering around everywhere? It's like they were set loose in the woods after a nudie picture went wrong. Were they bitten by something? They're attacking our troops, and they may be cannibals now. Actually, that's better than what they're really serving for dinner.
At supper time, you better be quick or go hungry.
Tain't nothing but possum tails, owl gizzards, and grits.
The South's cholesterol shall rise again, Ma. Who needs to advertise any plot? We're making moonshine here, and drinking more than a Lee Marvin set. All their problems could be solved if they made this a dry county.
I'm catching on fast.
You can keep your one broad, we're gonna start an orgy over here. And that's the story of how Grandpa Joe lost his ability to walk from possum poisoning and herpes. I wish someone would set them up on a double date with twin Betty Davises. Perhaps we could move on to a more normal sounding title. What? Underage? The hell, 1964? Don't worry, it's just another Larry Buchanan joint, and if you loved Free White and 21, this is the sequel, featuring the same judge, where this time the case revolves around a mother pushing her 15-year-old daughter to have sex with a 17-year-old. The movie leaves it up to the audience to decide its outcome, based 100% on if the mom is hot or not. There's only one way to start over from films like that. That's right, just let society fall. Have the living dead rebuild. Truly, we're now looking at the devastating effects of rodeo bombs, where the only man to survive is Vincent Price in I Am the Last Omega Man on Earth. The vampires seem to have their shit together, though.
Vampires, alive among the lifeless, that make the night hideous with their inhuman cravings.
See, they're already starting production on their first juvenile delinquent film. Based on the classic book by Richard Matheson, if anyone is gonna rid the world of vampires, it's gonna be Vincent Price with some lovin' too.
Can a zombie woman's hunger for love repopulate the earth?
No thanks. I'll just let humanity fall. A classic Vincent Price starring vehicle, which wasn't a success upon release, but over the years found a lot more acclaim for working well with a small budget and Price's great performance, and for whatever total scope is, I can totally see the whole picture, man. But that'll be no match for the rage and passion and greatness of Beckett. Also, who the hell is Beckett? Ain't that one of them John Wayne cop movies? Oops, not quite. This is Richard Burton and Peter O'Toole bringing their epic cinema powers together.
The immortal story of a man called Beckett, who earned a king's most trusted friendship, who shared his most intimate secrets.
Brand Brandy! More brandy! From power producer Hal Wallace, who goes all the way back to the adventures of Robin Hood and Casablanca, and based on the play Becket or the Honor of God, this tells the story of King Henry II, who appoints his friend Becket as archbishop, but who then goes against the king, causing a bitter feud, and is shot like a love story, so I'm going to assume it is.
I would have given away my life, laughingly for you. Only I loved you.
More hot romance than even Cleopatra. There's so much frolicking here, I'm expecting them to start singing Kissin' Cousins, or at the least the stomach-ass man from Caligula. It's got John Gielgud in it. While the movie was overshadowed over time by other classics of '64, this was still a hit. It didn't have the skyrocketed budget of Cleopatra, so it was able to make a good profit. Plus, it got itself a whopping 11 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, and won the award for Adapted Screenplay. It's clearly worth it. The role of a drunken, horny king is the role Peter O'Toole was born to play, for there have been some great motion pictures in our time, and Becket is one of them. And going with our theme of traditional romance like Kissin' Cousins and Underage, now we have Mail Order Bride, a comedy western where Buddy Ebsen is like, I'm about to strike it rich with bubbling crude. I don't have time to play matchmaker for this kid. I'll just get him a mail order bride. We need something for the kids, though, which looks like an animal attack film, but it says Walt Disney Presents, so I'm confused. But it's more of a heartwarming drama.
A man faced with the dilemma of having to capture a tiger on the loose.
Don't shoot him. Please don't shoot him.
The spiderweb says he's some tiger. Here, Pamela Franklin wants to save the tiger from those trying to hunt it down.
I mean, it seems like it should at least be captured.
Through it all, a tiger walks, leaving its effect on everyone in this fog-bound community.
Oh, dang, I'm about to become an appetizer.
God dang it, kid, we gotta do something. It's scaring our cattle and eating half the film crew. We know it walks, but it's also hungry for blood. I more so trust the trippy-ass circus in the next film.
What is the eerie secret behind the 7 faces of Dr. Lau?
I'm in good hands here. We've had MST3K movies, but now we have the one Joel Robinson called his favorite movie in his farewell episode. That's good enough for me. It's a George Pal film of War of the Worlds and the Time Machine, and Tony Randall is back too with more genie friends.
How do you do? The name is Merlin.
Huh, I thought you'd be taller.
Somehow this seems more sexual than the brass bottle.
Hi there. Do I look familiar to you?
That's a dick.
Tony used his final wish to bring the magic of the circus to a small town complete with Medusa.
And I guess Tony wished to be an Asian man.
Out of nowhere he came. A mysterious stranger.
American fighting barely bruises the skin.
He'll knock him over with his moves.
This town ain't big enough for you and me, partner.
Excellent. The cowboy's addicted to opium now. I wish the tiger was set loose in this circus. It's part Western, part fire-filled disaster movie, and a fish story.
And the most fabulous fish story in history.
Bold words for a month that also includes Mr. Limpet, though I don't know if this happens in that film.
But out of the water, and he doubles his size every 10 seconds.
I see why Joel was a fan of this film. Any minute now, it feels like Godzilla should show up. They originally wanted Peter Sellers for the flick, and I can see why. Tony Randall plays multiple characters in it. I'm sure Genie will show up and fix everything, because Barbara Eden is in this film too. That's all fun and games though. They sound way more stressed in the next one.
There's something inside me! It's eating its way out!
Great, that thing is on the loose again.
This is The Flesh Eaters, a trapped on an island horror film.
Listen to those screams, they're eating him alive!
He'll be fine.
Known for being a very early gore film that wants to give 2000 Maniacs a run for being the bloodiest film of the month,
though this one is bringing in some sex appeal with its flesh-eating bacteria. And it comes with its own first-person shooter video game tie-in.
You'll die first! You killed her!
Stop running at me and I'll stop shooting. What are you all thinking? Where in the world did this liquid come from? And why can't we get it to dissolve hair? They'll find a way out of there, even if they have to rear Projector off the island. On the plus side, he can now return to Jersey as the Toxic Avenger. We forget the superhero side of our flesh being eaten. And in the lower budgeted Western of the month, it's Law of the Lawless. Contradictory title. Here a man takes on a hanging judge when his son is on trial for murder. And this was part of a slew of low-budget Westerns from Paramount because they were popular in Italy. And even this one was released in Italy first in '63 before making it here in '64. Speaking of, the US also got the Pink Panther in March of '64 after its December of '63 European release, giving Clouseau 2 slots on the American top 10 box office of the year, with Shot in the Dark coming later in the year. However, I think the next one will win for goriest film of '64. Did the Flesh Eaters come with a warning scroll? I think not. Don't take your kids to see this. Take them to see the one with the man-eating tiger instead.
But I don't know, this hootenanny don't seem so bad.
What they were celebrating wasn't important, and it sounded like a heap of fun
until the trailer fire made an appearance. From Herschel Gordon Lewis, 2000 Maniacs is part Brigadoon, part good old boy kissing cousins shenanigans, part Blood Feast style gore, and all Cinema Snob episode, as a group of travelers end up in a southern town where they're hacked to bits for the centennial celebration. The town may be full of ghosts, but they have improved their circus contraptions. Dr. Lau would put together much safer carnival games than this. It's got Playboy Playmates, so it'll be sexy, along with its theme song.
Oh, the South's gonna rise again.
Damn you liberals, tearing down our statues of Herschel Gordon Lewis. American audience got a double dose of Peter Sellers this month too, with The World of Henry Orient, which sounds like a name that would have been in Dr. Lau. In this dramedy, Sellers is famed pianist Henry Orient, a master at music and a master at having affairs with married women, 'cause duh. However, he gets into a pickle when teen girls begin following him around due to their massive crush.
You can tell the whole world if you want to that I, Valerie Campbell Boyd, love and adore the great and beautiful and wonderful Henry Orient.
She had to find something before becoming obsessed with the Beatles later. You could recut this trailer to make it look like a stalker film, or a thriller akin to Knock Knock, or Hurry Up Tomorrow. Girls, I told you I'm not interested. I didn't even survive till the end of Lolita, and ain't no way I'm getting in front of the underage judge. I'd love it if it turns out that Peter didn't even know he was being filmed. They just hid some cameras and had some teens stalk his ass for a whole movie. Anyway, in the bigger budgeted picture, I'm assuming it's bigger budgeted, there's Skyfire. Flight from Ashiya is a World War II set movie, but more of a disaster picture, as it was a Japanese-American co-production starring Yul Brynner and Richard Widmark, where a flight crew is sent to rescue Japanese survivors of a shipwreck off the coast of Japan. If only those damn typhoons and hurricanes would stop getting in the way. You know what this movie could use? Another Dr. Lau-style giant monster. The good news is, if you survive this dangerous mission, you're gonna get so laid. And it appears Merlin is back too, in the form of Tommy Kirk in The Misadventures of Merlin Jones. You know, back when Merlin was a teenage college student who apparently only studied Jerry Lewis movies. This Disney production was intended to be a TV presentation, but they decided to give it a theatrical release after falling in love with Annette Funicello's theme.
But my heart's whirling, I'm the girl in love with Merlin Jones.
Hey, Hey, pull over. You clearly ain't in love with this nerd.
It's funny how some things are still familiar today, like Disney films in theaters that were originally meant for streaming. And what kind of school is this?
And starring Annette as that key-swinging Phi Beta co-ed majoring in boyology.
Yes, she and Tommy met in boyology. This Merlin even has the power to read minds.
Safeguard the stolen diamonds, and murder it will be.
Still no power to curb his slapstick. Oh, I wish this was another Larry Buchanan trial movie. It'd have an open ending where the judge says,
"What do you think, audience? Is the chimp guilty?"
Merlin is only guilty of using his powers for horny reasons. Taking advantage of the girls is on the syllabus. I do not trust this man with hypnotism or anything else.
And what Merlin does to cats, you've got to see to believe.
Do I want to?
But you will turn and you will face your enemies like a tiger. You will roar like a lion.
Oh, that's how the tiger escaped. This weird movie makes young Einstein look like Oppenheimer. Why are you smiling? Why is he in bed with a chimp?
Anyway, we used mad a lot in the promo. That means it's just as good as It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
You mind using your magic to zap Annette back to the beach? Because the second in the Beach Party series is here. This time it's Muscle Beach Party.
Yeah, man. The boys are here, the girls are here, and the muscle men are here.
I'm keeping my eye on all you fornicators.
Here, Frankie and Annette have to save the beach with their split-screen musical numbers and...
Oh, no, don't quit now, Dee Dee. I think you're ahead.
Okay, how's this for a closer?
Ooh, kinky beach party. But when the beach is taken over by businessmen and their bodybuilders, it's really gonna ruin their Dick Dale concert. With some comedic standouts from Don Rickles and Buddy Hackett, it goes without saying the movie was a success. They made 7 of these beach party movies. Once they're done cleaning up the brawls and mastering their own art of hypnotism to knock these muscle men off the boards and feed them to the sharks. And while Beckett may have been a successful epic of the year, it was the fall of the Roman Empire that would be the Cleopatra of '64, Roman style.
A civilization so powerful it could never be conquered from without.
And surely an epic like this could never fail at the box office. Oh, the irony.
This had a ton going for it. It's from producer Samuel Bronston of King of Kings and directed by Anthony Mann of Ben-Hur and El Cid. It was originally supposed to star Charlton Heston, who backed out, but we got a ton of other stars. I just gotta put on my glasses to see them. You definitely see the money on screen. Just looking at the footage, you're like, this screams, give us our Best Picture, Best Costume, and Best Production Design Oscars, which it only got a Best Score nomination. The technical stuff is really all the advertising is, which showcases the massive scope, because one of the things that was criticized about it was its pacing and flat characters and standard romance.
And the intimate story of a daughter of a Caesar, whose love was sacrificed for the good and the glory of the Roman Empire.
If you don't sleep with me, Rome will fall, baby.
While Cleopatra at least made it into the top 10 box office of the year, this didn't even do that. It underperformed so much the producer filed for bankruptcy. And have we checked on the extras?
Someone go scoop up that coward.
See, here's your problem. If this was an Italian exploitation flick with a $1,000 budget, you could have made that back. Instead, you just ruined a damn bridge. We are meeting a lot of people this month in name-based titles. We've met Beckett, Dr. Lau, Henry Orient, Merlin Jones, but the most incredible has to be Mr. Limpet. Incredible is in the title. Take that, Dr. Lau Fish. Even Arthur Godfrey vouches for this one.
Hi. You know I do a radio show every morning on the CBS radio network, don't you?
I don't. On Saturday mornings, I watched Heathcliff and Inspector Gadget.
I can tell he is psyched to promote this.
I had the privilege of seeing its premiere performance underwater, for heaven's sakes, in a beautiful Weeki Wachee spring in Florida.
Why are you advertising it like you're at gunpoint?
Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I've downed 6 bottles of Jack Daniels to get through this picture, and now I think I'm in love.
Honestly, you get so you want to, as soon as you finish looking at the movie, you want to dive in the water and become a fish.
Yes, fill that tank up with gin and give me a straw.
Maybe playing the song will perk him up.
That's all they ask of him.
Just give me a loaded gun and let me say goodbye to my wife, folks.
I hope this trailer never shows footage from the movie. I hope it's just Arthur being held hostage.
'Cause fishes have a better life than people.
He looks like my grandpa pretending to like Xanadu. But anyway, as for the actual movie, it's a live-action plus animated film where Don Knotts stars as Mr. Limpet, who is so obsessed with fish, he wants to be one.
If you paid half as much attention to me as you do those fish, I'd be the happiest wife in Flatbush.
It's just that fish are so bright and cheerful.
Well, they do things in bed you won't do. Until one day, he actually does become an animated fish under Warner Brothers Animation and Robert McKimson, one of their few non-Looney Tunes projects. Truly, Mr. Limpet is the Navy's best defense against Nazi submarines before he falls back in love with his wife.
Hello, Bessie.
Henry, is that you?
Don't you recognize me, Bessie?
It's the final straw in his fish fetish. Join Don Knotts in The Incredible Mr. Limpet Gets Divorced, coming soon.
Up next in 1964, I'll tell you in a minute, we have to sober Arthur up first.
Seasoned veteran of the open road, particular yet willing to be convinced. Like a very persistent hobo once said, biggest little van that ever came down the pike. Convince yourself at your Ford dealers.
Alright, we put Arthur Godfrey down for a nap. Now let's see what's in store for April of '64. Will it be a beach party movie? A horror movie? An MST3K movie? Why not all three of those things? But beware, there's an urgent warning. Be advised before you see this truly shocking program, unless you agree not to sue the theater in case the movie kills you. What? Oh man, this will truly be scary. Oh my god, Buddy Holly resurrected and he wants revenge! Yes, do not sue this theater before you see the horror of Party Beach, dubbed at the time as one of the worst movies ever made. And Dishonest, the first horror movie musical? Do the incredibly strange creatures mean nothing to you now? Obviously made as a horror send-up of the increasingly popular beach party movies, or maybe just Surf Party. I guess there can be 2 black and white beach movies this year. It's gotta be good. Arch Hall Sr. is narrating it.
An entire city in the throes of panic, at the mercy of demons from the dead.
Your flesh will be burnt from the demon's flaming asshole. Kudos to the gimmick, though. They're handing out fright releases in case you're easily scared. Can I still get a refund if I just think it's bad? We'll get something more sophisticated now, I'm sure. You know, if there's a living corpse, I just assume that it's cursed. And yes, it was released on a double bill with Horror of Party Beach, because they're from the same director, Del Tenney. I have a feeling this will be superior. Why? Frickin' Roy Scheider is in it! And it claims to be more terrifying than Frankenstein. If you told me it's more terrifying than Black Frankenstein, I'd believe it. More deadly than Dracula, the dirty old man. Gee, I wonder who's narrating this trailer.
See the creature that undrapes the passions of the living.
I'm guessing Arch Sr. recorded this in the same recording session, just like I'm sure they edited both trailers in the same day. It's got the exact same warning on it, absolving the theater of all responsibility if you throw your cups at the screen. You even get a fright release with this one too, but I already used it for Horror of Party Beach. Aw man, I'm dead. But over on the Western circuit, we have Gunfighters of Casa Grande, which was a Spanish-American co-production from MGM that's like a bridge between the styles of American Westerns and the grittier spaghetti Westerns, where a man wins a cattle ranch and upon driving the herd to Texas, criminals want his damn cattle. Also a bridge to City Slickers, of course. Now, if it's a getaway you want, you may have a better time than Shirley Jones in Dark Purpose as she travels to Italy, strikes up a romance with a count who may be involved in a plot to poison his daughter who is actually his wife. While Shirley is involved with this thriller plot, the rest of the Partridges must still be performing at Party Beach. Lest you forget though, 1964 is an election year.
This is Secretary of State William Russell, candidate for President of the United States.
No, you're not. You're Henry Fonda. Already with the lies.
This is Senator Joe Cantwell, candidate for President of the United States. Is he the best man?
Well, yeah, that's Cliff Robertson. Uncle Ben would be a fine president. Too bad that's not what he's playing here, as Fonda is the more honest candidate, while Robertson plays the politician based on Joe McCarthy. From writer Gore Vidal, the best man is like the primary colors of its time, as two men fight to get their party's nomination for president, and both seek the endorsement of the sitting president. Praised by political experts for its authenticity, it was also the first major release to use the word homosexual. But I also like the film's use of the word bastard.
You know, it's not that I object to your being a bastard. Don't get me wrong there. It's your being such a stupid bastard that I object to.
That was the "You're no Jack Kennedy" of the '64 election. Sure, the trailer may say it's dynamite, but what about my fright release? I'm scared of having my flesh ripped off by the Goldwater girls. Here's a matchup I really want to see, however. I vote Audrey Hepburn. She defeated a murderous Alan Arkin while blind. Paris When It Sizzles is a send-up of Hollywood screenwriting, where they crammed the kitchen sink into this.
What kind of a picture is it? Well, just for openers, it's a tender, tender love story with monsters, spies, international jewel thieves.
Yes, but is he more deadly than Dracula? I talked them into giving me another fright release. Here, William Holden is a screenwriter with writer's block, who Audrey Hepburn helps out by acting out his ideas. It's one where the backstory would make for a better movie. Holden was battling alcoholism at the time, and was deeply in love with Hepburn after an affair they had years ago on Sabrina, and he wanted to rekindle that romance behind the scenes, even though she was married at the time. See, I'm surprised the backstory isn't an actual movie, if only because it involves affairs. Other than that, there's another Hepburn movie this year that'll be far more successful. We'll get to that later, because now I think even the horror movies are getting horny.
Could be a fetish.
Fetish?
Fetish can be anything. Any non-sexual object.
Like my hard-on when I slowly drink this carton of milk. This is The Strangler, based on the Boston Strangler, but with a fascination for dolls.
Starring Victor Buono as the most baffling, the most horrifying criminal in a decade.
Hey, you think you broads can start installing larger windows? We got quite the case here, Brannigan. Acts like Boston Strangler, looks like John Gacy.
No woman is safe as long as the Strangler lives and roams at will.
Come back, my Malibu Stacy has a new hat. This guy seems worth the ticket price alone.
There are a lot of people who don't laugh at me anymore. They don't laugh at anybody.
Look, please go away.
Can I win you over with my spot-on Mr. Belvedere impression? Sure, he's a serial killer and all, but I'm more concerned about the dolls. Look, even the poster has him breaking poor 60s Barbie's neck.
And in another Hollywood movie about Hollywood, The Carpetbaggers proved to be more successful than Paris When It Sizzles, as it was the 4th highest grossing movie of the year, helped by its controversy, starring George Peppard as a fictitious version of Howard Hughes, and based on the book by Harold Robbins, which relished in the sex and sadism behind the scenes of 1930s Hollywood. It was an early mainstream movie to really push the boundaries of sex on screen, right down to Carol Baker appearing in the nude in the European version. However, I think it's the narrator we should be concerned about.
Jenny Denton, good looking in furs, better looking without them. Nice girl until she was 15.
The hell does that mean? I heard that. We'll put you on a list and replace you with Arch Hall Sr. faster than you can say jailbait. This was also the final film for Alan Ladd, who plays Nevada Smith, a former gunslinger turned actor. And it's what I remember the most about the film, because the movie I saw before this was the spin-off prequel, which featured Steve McQueen as the character Nevada Smith. This one has the way spicier melodrama, though. I'll take it. Though it'll most likely be The Quick Gun that's the movie your dad will go see. Only because he's already seen Gunfighters of Casa Grande 12 times this month. This is an Audie Murphy western where he saves his town from a raid by his former gang. A quickie western from director Sidney Salco, who also did the year's much more memorable film, The Last Man on Earth, but both show his versatility as a director. Movies this month are heavy. Thank God we got a Haley Mills movie next. Why does Haley look like she wants to kill me? This isn't a Disney movie, is it? No, this is The Chalk Garden, based on the Broadway play, where Haley is a sadistic, spoiled brat, and all the singing nannies are busy this year, so Deborah Kerr will do.
Meet the personalities in this strange and suspenseful drama. Miss Madrigal. Who was she?
You answered my ad in the paper, you idiot.
Will she be the one to tame Haley's wild ways?
I steal things. I cheat at cards. I make up dreadful lies about people and then I blackmail them.
Well, I mean, at least she's honest, I guess. Personally, I think she's acting up because her doll is possessed by the ghost of the Strangler. Can't say I've heard any of these lines in a Disney Haley movie.
Sex education?
Claro!
Well, I've got to learn sometime. I'll never get the hang of it.
Don't you ever say that again. It's part mystery melodrama, part the innocence, and all this would be better if Robin Williams were an old woman. We've seen Hollywood send-ups this month, but what about art house send-ups? For that, we have French Dressing. I Ordered the Ranch! This comedy was the feature directorial debut of Ken Russell about a man who sets up a film festival and all the shenanigans it causes in the town. Russell would consider it to be a learning experience for him, as he was highly critical of the finished product, which underperformed and sent him back to TV, until he'd return to features again in '67 with Billion Dollar Brain. And if you're not mysteried out this month, there's The Third Secret, with a day that starts out like any other.
But suddenly the quiet is shattered.
Dr. Whitsett, whatever's happened?
It was that damn Haley Mills. She shot me in the head with a paintball. Here, a famed psychiatrist supposedly commits suicide, which has the trailer guy pissed.
A man betrayed. A woman driven to the edge of despair. We trusted this man with our lives.
Well, that's your first mistake. I'm not trusting that man with my secrets. His daughter, Pamela Franklin, is on the case. I knew it. She was just in a Tiger Walks. It was that freaking tiger that did it. The movie saves money by having the star be the trailer guy.
Here is a motion picture of contrasting moods, providing me with a role that is very different from those I played in Ben-Hur.
Did you know I was in Ben-Hur? That's right. I'm awesome. He has nice things to say about everyone else, too.
I have the privilege of working with one of the most memorable casts assembled in recent years. Richard Attenborough, acclaimed for his performance in The Great Escape.
Richard also made me believe in Santa Claus. Maybe he doesn't care for her, though. Hey, what about all the compliments? Could it be even myself who is the killer? Come see The Third Secret before I drink myself to sleep. Even Sean Connery is getting in on the crime thriller action with Woman of Straw, where he plays a much darker role,
as a man who schemes to inherit his uncle's fortune, and bringing in a nurse to marry the man for his money, where they even try passing the old man off as alive when he dies, and then she gets suspected of murder. Bond can find a way out of this, because American audiences got a double dose of Connery this month, as From Russia with Love got its US release before the September release of Goldfinger. Many audiences were still hooked on the news, though, and Larry Buchanan took full advantage of that with yet another trial movie, this time The Trial of Lee Harvey Oswald. It's an alternate universe film where Oswald lives, and the movie guesses what his murder trial would have been like. Of course, it's still done in Larry Buchanan fashion, where it still has George Edgley as the same exact judge from Underage and Free White and 21, and also ends with characters looking into the camera and having the audience act as a jury for what they think happened. What do you think, audience? Was it aliens creating a magic bullet? I did my own research. Coming up in May, James Whitmore turns black, Elvis wows Las Vegas, and most importantly, the return of Mamie Van Doren. Ooh, I am on the edge of my seat for May. Will this month also be more terrifying than Frankenstein and more deadly than Dracula? You bet your ass it is, because forget the nice things Frankenstein has done. We're getting the evil of Frankenstein, where down the years comes a name that makes awkward sentences like this one. This was the third Frankenstein film from Hammer, and aw damn it, if I use that heart, it's gonna cause some kind of infection. It follows The Curse of Frankenstein and The Revenge of Frankenstein, where Peter Cushing is the doctor who returns home and is up to his old tricks again by making the scariest papier-mâché monster we've seen. What, did you sew a brick into his head? He's kicking Ebenezer Scrooge's ass. This also has a baron fighting for control of the monster and features Napoleon and some young people.
Katie Wilde and Sanderels as two young people caught up in the evil of Frankenstein.
Have I ever told you about our Lord and Savior Satan? All this could be solved quickly. Dr. Frankenstein gets the monster on weekdays and the Baron on weekends and holidays. Joint custody. This is strong words. The greatest chiller thriller of them all? Well, critics didn't think so, but I've still got my review of Blackenstein in my head, so this movie will also be a huge step up. But for some lighter British fare, we have The Bargee, which is a comedy directed by Duncan Wood, who is a legend in British television, having produced a number of influential sitcoms of the time, like Steptoe and Son, and this was his transition into directing features, which is a very TV show plot. We have a lot of boat workers, one is a major womanizer, and another wants to find out which seaman impregnated his daughter. Shenanigans on the high seas. I've never seen someone so happy they're about to be stabbed. She loves me. Speaking of influential, we have The Thin Red Line, based on the book by James Jones, which is set in World War II, where soldiers clash during the Battle of Guadalcanal, the first Allied offensive against the Japanese, and is a successful, well-made film worth checking out, as it's typically been overlooked since Terrence Malick did his adaptation in 1998 and turned it into a nature documentary. Also getting good reviews is The Visit, not an early adaptation of the Shyamalan film.
But if you force me to, I swear I'll kill you.
I'm not so sure you two should be together. Like The Bargee, this also has to do with a pregnancy, and that's where the similarities end. I do love the cast here.
Bergman and Quinn.
An exceptional teaming of two truly great stars.
If they could keep their hands off each other, that is. Who is it that's visiting? Everyone's so excited. Has Christ returned? Close enough. Ingrid Bergman comes back as the richest woman in the world after being run out of town for being an unwed teenage mother. Not everyone is excited, though.
This could be the day of a town's salvation, except for this man.
Did everyone forget her shoplifting? It's a revenge story where she offers $2 million to the town on one condition.
I want Serge Miller put to death. I want his life.
Jeez, I didn't like Ghosts Can't Do It either, but this is harsh. This flick is frickin' wild. People are trying to kill this man so the town can get the money. Talk about hell hath no fury. This dude done effed around and found out. Ingrid Bergman is having a great time in this.
Kick him out of your bed. Lock your door. Break with him. You'll be the one, otherwise he'll break with you.
Now if you'll excuse me, I have to get this wildcat on set of another Disney movie. I like that I wrote my hell hath no fury line before realizing that's the actual tagline. Now I know what this inspired. Clearly the classic Shannon Tweed Skinamax movie. But in a lighter story that involves a wealthy woman.
Hi, folks. In case you didn't know it, that's a girl.
Thanks for the help. What are you talking to the incels in the crowd? That's right, sexy-ass Shirley MacLaine is all woman, and what a way to go! Sign me up!
It takes 6 of the screen's greatest guys to keep her happy.
Wasn't expecting a gangbang in this. Everyone wants a shot at Shirley. Paul Newman, Robert Mitchum, Dean Martin, Gene Kelly, Bob Cummings, and Dick Van Dyke. You tell that Mary Poppins about this and it's your ass. Here Shirley stars as a woman who is recounting her life story and feels she is cursed because all her ex-husbands have died due to the pursuit of greed. And did I say orgy?
There's a pink Rolls Royce and a slick jetliner, complete with orgies.
They came right out and said it. Just leave the chimp and the weapons out of the orgy, please. Or your sex toys.
And hysterical painting machines that look like centipedes.
That's right, folks. Ass to mouth to ass. From the great J. Lee Thompson, who previously directed Cape Fear and Guns of Navarone, here doing a dark comedy that shows his versatility with some gunplay still.
And the wildest, wackiest, fun-filled entertainment that ever rocked the screen.
Hey, that's my art. You shoot it, you buy it, lady. Shirley has the best dates. Just bring your own rear projector, fellas, and the smooth talk.
I'm very rich and you're very poor. And sooner or later, you'll come around, baby.
Here, let me stuff a crisp $100 bill in your tits. I hope this ends just like Looking for Mr. Goodbar. What a way to go indeed! Posing in a giant champagne glass for the opening credits of a James Bond picture. We still gotta have a movie this month that features a character's name, and here we have The Eyes of Annie Jones, a crime film involving affairs, embezzlement, and a young girl who sleepwalks and has extrasensory perception and may be possessed by the murder victim. It was a low-budget film that came and went in the United States, but did have some influence with it too, as it later inspired the 1978 thriller The Eyes of Laura Mars. It's also a month for eyes, as now we get The Girl with Green Eyes. At least the other movie knew the girl's name. This one has a trailer guy creepier than the What a Way to Go guy.
Girls in the city. Any city. Your city.
Just get in the back. We got some lollipops and magazines for you. This is a romance film where a younger woman meets the older Peter Finch, so it's about first loves and a huge age gap, but less scandalous than Lolita. It's an early film, too, for Lynn Redgrave, who got an introducing credit, even though she was in the previous year's Tom Jones. This one's got more swinging, though. Woo!
Here is yet another gay, offbeat story from Woodfall Film.
Why you hooking up with a young girl, bro? Seems pretty gay, just like these other movies.
Remember A Taste of Honey, Saturday Night, Sunday Morning, and the fabulous Tom Jones.
So gay, he's fabulous. She don't get cash stuffed in her tits, she gets cigarettes. And more mob mentality. Oh, great. Did Ingrid Bergman put a hit out on the girl too? Who wouldn't risk it all for the girl with green eyes? Or at least I think they're green. It's a black and white film, so you'll have to take our word for it.
What is with romance this month? If you're hooking up in movies, whether it's a comedy, a romance, or a thriller, you're freaking dead. Paul Newman was stuck with a curse, and now it's his wife Joanne Woodward's turn. Signpost to Murder stars Woodward and Stuart Whitman, where a man kills his wife, escapes from an asylum, then holds up in a house with a woman who may have a deadly secret. But the two want to bang anyway. For aren't we all potential killers? And how killing drifters is the only thing that contains my anger after watching Nuki over 10 years ago.
But no adaptation this month can top Black Like Me, based on the book by John Howard Griffin, and nothing can top the poster either.
I changed the color of my skin, and now the biggest problem is finding the men's room?
Could be worse. Now he truly knows what it feels like to be black. Yes, he's the C. Thomas Howell of his time. What is this trailer gonna be like?
John Horton is a white man. He changed the color of his skin to black. Then some white men asked him questions like, "Hey, nigger, where can I find me a black gal?"
What the hell? Black Like Me is rated hard R. And you don't even look black, you just look like James Whitmore after sitting in a tanning bed too long. And the townsfolk are only half-heartedly chasing him.
They find themselves a black man, stalk him, then watch him run. In some places it's a game, just like baseball.
Yes, I always get James Whitmore confused with Jackie Robinson. My biggest memory of this is when I was in a novels class in high school. We had to make a short movie version out of the book, and there were no black people in our class. We didn't use blackface, but my buddy John, with his frosted tipped late 90s hair, was also not convincing as a black man. Even Elvis is more convincing as black. Here we hit Vegas for a romance this month that doesn't have a body count. And already we're starting with that kickin' title song, Viva Las Vegas, and a nice vacation.
Viva Elvis! Viva Aunt Margaret!
And Viva Gorditas!
Here Elvis is a race car driver, taking up a job in Vegas as the town ladies' man. Uh-oh, where is this going? This never would have happened to Arch Hall Jr. Here Elvis falls for the sexy Aunt Margaret, fresh off her success from last year's Bye Bye Birdie, and this was a big hit for her and Elvis, considered to be one of the best and most popular Elvis films, helped largely by the amazing chemistry between the two leads, who did strike up an affair during the production.
It's a pleasure to hear a man's opinion and not have to listen to the stubborn ravings of a boy who won't grow up and...
Damn, you made Elvis blow his load. What are you doing? He has to focus on the race. Blue balls will distract him. Well, I guess I was wrong about there being a body count. Don't let that deadly car crash stop you from having a night in Vegas, dancing the night away.
Speaking of on-set chemistry, now we have A Distant Trumpet starring Troy Donahue and Suzanne Plachette, who were married at the time, having met while doing the 1962 film Rome Adventure, but this is a different type of film, as A Distant Trumpet is a big-budget western for a change this year from a big-time director.
This is Raoul Walsh, one-time cowboy, writer with Pancho Villa, long-time leading man of the screen, and today, Hollywood's most famous director of action films.
For the last time, I'm not John Ford. Now fetch me a scotch.
He seems proud of his work.
But I think this new picture, A Distant Trumpet, includes some of the most exciting and dramatic scenes I've ever filmed.
So exciting, I had to read this off a cue card.
It was also banking on its against-type role for Troy Donahue as Lieutenant Matt Hazard, great name, where he's stationed at a fort, fights with other soldiers and whiskey salesmen and dames.
All right, girls, let's get ready to go to work.
Great. right, another gangbang. The Native Americans can wait. He's got Suzanne Plachette waiting for him, and a court-martialing.
Maybe we ought to pass the hat and get enough money so you can open a cigar store.
Maybe so, sir.
Is this supposed to be funny, or is it unintentional? It didn't have the best reviews of Raoul Walsh's career, with criticism being directed at its casting, but it is a curiosity in it being a Western Troy Donahue melodrama, where like a lot of melodramas, it advertises the book again, too. All this talk of sex means we will definitely have a nudie picture. And for that, we have Nudes Inc., the story behind all the girls who pose nude in these films, meaning it looks like it's shot in sleazy casting couch vision, making it the least sexy movie of the month. What am I, about to watch a snuff film? The most interesting thing about it is it's from director Barry Mahan. That's right, the director of Santa's Christmas Elf named Calvin, here back in his nudie picture days. If I want sexy, I'm going to Mamie Van Doren. Any Mamie Van Doren movie will be my most anticipated movie of the year, as this one's called Three Nuts in Search of a Bolt. Well, you won't find a better title in 1964. I can already sense the jiggling.
Three Nuts in Search of a Bolt is the spiciest, bawdiest, funniest picture of the year, with color.
You'll chafe all the skin off your dick when you see Three Nuts in Search of a Bolt. The film stars Tommy Noonan, who also directed and co-wrote the film. What's the plot? Hang on, I'll think of something. We'll add some more Mr. Bubble to get the creative juices flowing. It has to do with three people who need a psychiatrist, so to save money, they just have one person see the psychiatrist to talk about all their problems, or something. The trailer isn't really interested in the story.
Three Nuts in Search of a Bolt is honest. Problem is you're a virgin. A virgin? Am I right, Saxy?
You're pretty close.
Does motorboating count? This seems like the kind of film that'll have wacky fast motion chases. Guys, just save some money and watch Benny Hill for therapy. If you loved Sex Kittens Go to College and The Private Lives of Adam and Eve, then I'm sure you've already got your ticket and a tub of baby oil and some Kleenex. Coming up next, Inspector Clouseau returns, and we have films with John Wayne and the Rat Pack, and we'll take a trip to Mars and board the Titanic. Summer's gonna be adventurous.
Would you guess it? She's a brand new bride preparing her first dinner. She's sure of heavenly digestible fried chicken with wonderful fluffo. Smart bride he's got there, cooks like a dream and saves him money too with fluffo, the highest quality shortening at a low, low price.
It's June of 1964. How are we going to get the kids out to the movie theater? Why, having something based on a television series, of course.
Hey, 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 happy campers! Look who's up to his old tricks.
That's right. And the Ranger's gonna take one right through the head. That's right, Yogi Bear had his very own movie, which has some accomplishments for a couple of reasons. It was the first movie from Hanna-Barbera, and was the first animated movie to be based on a television series. No small screen can fit this adventure.
When his beloved Cindy is bear-napped by the grizzling Chisling brothers.
And we're gonna kidnap Big Bird and paint him blue. Why not? They painted Muttley blue.
And their playful pet Mugger.
Totally not Muttley. His name is way different. This adventure takes Yogi out of Jellystone Park, and after 1985 in film had movies from He-Man, the Care Bears, and the Littles, I should have figured 1964 would do something similar, and it features a circus. I'm noticing a circus theme in 64. We'll have another one of those later. It's also an Olga-themed year as well. Audrey Campbell is keeping busy in 64. First, she was in Sin in the Suburbs. Then she used that sin to make a House of Shame in February's Olga's House of Shame. And now Olga is back in this quick sequel, which I'm sure every entry in this series is quick.
Tell me and we'll call the whole thing even.
You know you're going to tell me, so let's not make it hard on both of us.
Here she sets her sights on Chinatown to bring in a new collection of girls to put them to work as hookers, all part of Olga's theme of sexual frustration in post-Eisenhower America. So much so, it's still not the last Olga movie of the year. We'll be seeing her again in September. For Olga's motto is "Courage is the crucible in which the shape of greatness is forged." Oh wait, this is a different, much bigger budgeted movie. This is the World War II film 633 Squadron, featuring Cliff Robertson not playing Kennedy in a World War II movie this time. The mission here is to destroy a German fuel factory and run your asses off. Oh boy, are we in a pickle now? Mr. Director, I lost my map for where the bombs are. Help! It's okay, if we survive this, all the ladies are gonna want me. George Chakiris isn't used to this. In West Side Story, we just danced our enemies to death. And this movie's way kinkier.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
I have nothing to say.
Take off his clothes.
The hell, is Olga in charge here too? This was a very big hit in Britain, where it was one of the top 10 movies of the year there, and would later get a lot of airplay on television, particularly during the holidays, and it was re-released several times as a double feature with The Great Escape. What? No pairing it with horror at Party Beach? Where am I supposed to get my fright release, just in case the explosions are too scary? And I don't like heights. These aerial battles are impressive. I would think they actually are being shot at. Damn, keeping it real. But you know me, if there's a cat movie in theaters, I'm probably seeing that.
Who is the most self-reliant animal made since the world began?
Yes, it was me. I taught the cavemen how to make fire and put water in my bowl.
From Walt Disney Pictures, before that darn cat, there was The 3 Lives of Thomasina, or Morris the Cat, the movie.
From the best-selling novel by Paul Gallico, Walt Disney brings to the screen The 3 Lives of Thomasina.
You call this salmon? I'm the star of this picture, damn it!
Thomasina is so generous, she gave 3 of her lives to protect a family.
That's what you think! I'm taking my lives back, you bitch!
This is an epic cat film. I expect nothing less, considering it's from the director of Jason and the Argonauts. It's a movie that'll find some way to find fire damage in a cat movie. And also, is there a witch that lives in the neighborhood? I'm not kidding, this movie goes places.
Thomasina.
What, did you think it was just a family and their pet movie? Oh no, it features the cat afterlife.
Hey, there better be a trampoline for me to land on down there.
After all, it has the Banks children from the year's Mary Poppins, so I have no doubt this is also a magical cat, where the 9 lives rule is scientific fact. But we may have some explosions left over. How about another war picture?
As I went walking down the road, was on one summer's day.
I'm guessing this is sillier than 633 Squadron. With that music, it's starting out like a prequel to 2000 Maniacs. It's a Civil War movie called Advance to the Rear. That sounds like an order Olga would give. This focuses on the slap-happier side of the war. Oh, that Company Q. You're so wacky, you make the show Gomer Pyle look like Full Metal Jacket. The characters were way better at getting laid in 633 Squadron.
I see you. Heath! What are you doing in that bed?
Harumph! Cuddle time is for weekends, soldier!
But we know Glenn Ford will be the one who gets the ladies. Bring it in, Stella Stevens. He seems like a catch.
Now I know where you are when I decide to marry you.
Now you stay in there until you learn how to make chicken with Fluffo. These girls seem happy, so I'm guessing they're not trafficked by Olga, who would send these men on a mission.
And almost every other kind of maniac, including one guy with permanent hiccups.
Will you get rid of those hiccups? We're gonna try to sneak up on them. Oh, yes, sir.
I bet that doesn't get old. Company Q is a team of misfits branded as cowards, but they're the only ones that can keep the Western Territory safe with jokes and stunt work.
Holy mackerel, what's this? It's the charge of the ski brigade. Hooray! Let's take another look.
So you're telling me this isn't a Ken Burns documentary? I had no idea that Freeing the Slaves was so animated. It's a movie version of the S'more Schnapps episode of South Park. Also getting in on the slapsticky game, complete with animated titles, is Marlon Brando in Bedtime Story. It's the wackiest he's ever gone method. And David Niven is back too. If Clouseau can have a movie this month, then so can I. If this movie seems familiar to you, it should. David Niven is an experienced, charming, older con man who meets Marlon Brando, who is the younger, cockier con man, and together they hatch a scheme to see who can swindle Shirley Jones, who they meet while vacationing at a villa, complete with a wheelchair gag too. That's right, you're looking at the original version of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and yeah, also The Hustle, where filmmakers asked, but what if it sucked? Like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Bedtime Story was also a critically acclaimed film for the performances of its leads and the novelty of seeing Marlon Brando trying his hand at a screwball comedy. It's worth checking out, especially if you love the 80s movie. Another theme this month is wartime comedies and movies based on TV shows, because the next film is both. Did you know there was a movie version of McHale's Navy before the Tom Arnold classic? The 1964 movie features the cast of the TV series, which came out near the end of the show's second season, where our boys are deep in debt and have to save an orphanage from going under. I guess the Three Stooges were too busy. It's also a month of pets, too. First we had a cat movie, and now a dog movie with Wild and Wonderful. Couldn't just let the cat have his month, could you? This is a Tony Curtis comedy from Universal, which was his last contracted picture under the studio. But why? Look how dignified the poster is. If Thomasina was pre-That Darn Cat, this is pre-The Ugly Dachshund, as the dog causes marital problems between newlyweds Curtis and Christine Kaufman. I'll say, the two are having an affair during the making of it, and were briefly married after his divorce from Janet Leigh. The film was blasted by critics, but again shows how versatile some directors were back then. Like how Advance to the Rear was from the director of the Shirley Jones thriller Dark Purpose. This is directed by Michael Anderson, who gave us the year's wartime film Flight from Ashia. What is Olga from the director of The Thin Red Line? It's not, but that'd be awesome. Or how about How For Those Who Think Young is from the director of the Cliff Robertson Kennedy film. It's summer, so why wouldn't there be a beach movie this month? Which also capitalizes on the success of the Gidget movies, as it stars James Darren. And the budget is bigger here. We have a freaking phone in our car. I knew that if you gave it enough time, the surfers would start their own cult, like in the Nick Cage surfer movie. What's the plot? Who cares?
Here come those ho daddies and beach dollies in the swingin'est young people's picture of the year.
More swinging than the wife swapping and sin in the suburbs? I think not. And what the hell, did they discover acid? I didn't know Mike Nelson was in this. Also Ginger, showing her time before getting on the SS Minnow.
And what am I doing in a place like this? Get me out of here.
Where there's Ginger, surely Gilligan is around somewhere. And he is. The skipper was busy in Advance to the Rear. This is less a movie and more a commercial. A commercial for Pepsi, that is. The title for it was even changed to For Those Who Think Young, because that was the slogan for Pepsi at the time. It's not too late to rename 2025's Freakier Friday The Choice of a New Generation. One genre I didn't think I'd see this year, though, is the gangster genre, and now we have Mafioso, which is an import. It's actually a 1962 Italian film that got its US release in '64. Makes sense, since mafia movies were still being churned out a lot in the very early 60s, though this one had a lot of acclaim to it, as it's about a man in Sicily being forced to carry out a hit, and doing it all sexy-like a romance novel. Good, my lady delivery from Olga has arrived. But some things could be more tragic. Ginger and Gilligan may have boarded the ill-fated SS Minnow, but other characters this month board the Titanic, as Debbie Reynolds stars in the unsinkable Molly Brown. We often see Molly Brown in Titanic movies, like Kathy Bates in Titanic, of course, but finally we have a picture that shows all the rousing musical numbers, sadly cut from all other Titanic movies. Let's not forget the slapstick either.
Vital, joyful Molly, America's How to Succeed girl.
Every horrific tragedy resulting in near 1,500 deaths should have a movie like this. This shows Molly's rags to riches story through song.
She overcame every obstacle as she rose from rags to riches.
I'm gonna learn to read and write.
Move over, miracle worker. You don't need to learn those things. You'll be rich once you find your true love. Truly the coal miner's daughter and little Rita of its time. Joking aside, the movie's uniqueness makes it one of the more popular Titanic-based films, and it was a huge hit as it was adapted from the 1960 Broadway musical, and this movie version became the 8th highest grossing movie of the year. Plus, Debbie got an Oscar nomination for Best Actress. Please tell me they sing as the Titanic goes down. Why not? The band is still playing. What the hell was James Cameron thinking, not including a pie fight? This makes up for the lack of pie fighting in Dr. Strangelove. And that's the unsinkable Molly Brown. Some concrete shoes ought to test out that unsinkable theory. Also having unfortunate travel plans this month is Paul Manty as Commander Kit Draper on this fiery planet in Robinson Crusoe on Mars. I do remember watching this as a kid, and that memory certainly came back to me when The Martian came out. Practically the same thing. An astronaut is stuck on Mars, and he didn't think anything bad would happen because he's traveling with Batman. We'll soar past those flaming NBA Jam basketballs. Guys, you got your directions wrong. You ended up on the sun. What the hell, you two? Did any of you go through training? And don't eat the rocks.
But suddenly an unexpected source of oxygen. The life-giving miracle of the yellow stones that burn like coal.
You could just try growing potatoes. He ain't so alone on this planet. He's got a monkey sidekick. That'll defeat the aliens.
The devastating laser beams with which spacemen from the constellation Orion excavate the rare minerals of Mars.
Why are you questioning this? The trailer specifically states it's scientifically authentic. It is science fact, damn it. Open your science books. You can survive this.
The holocaust of searing hell when Mars and a flaming asteroid collide and turn the ice cap into molten lava.
So you're telling me I shouldn't go to Mars? Got it. Despite glowing reviews, it was a box office disappointment, but did find its audience over time for its ambitious effects and being a pretty entertaining survival film with humor all set on Mars. And again with that sticker that's as useful as the Fright release. No slapstick this month can compare to a cartoon bullet, however.
Hello, my name is Dum Dum. I'm a bullet.
What? Did he just shoot himself? Actually, the real star is, of course, the great Inspector Clouseau, where A Shot in the Dark was a turning point in the movie career of Peter Sellers. Released only a year after The Pink Panther, this became the 6th highest grossing movie of '64, as it shows Sellers not only perfecting all the mannerisms and delivery style of Clouseau, but also in that this features Clouseau as the main character and not an ensemble film like the first. And it is so funny, so damn funny. I grew up with these movies, and it was this and 1978's Revenge of the Pink Panther that I watched the most. I used to love watching those Inspector cartoons too, if anything because that cartoon used the theme from A Shot in the Dark as its theme music. Even the bullets are having a drunken good time.
You're shot. What do you mean shot? I'm only half shot.
I don't know if these bullets should own a gun. And is that Mel Blanc as Dum Dum the Bullet? It is. The best 60s Looney Tunes character next to Bunny and Claude. The comedy here is already perfect, but they add on top of that a pretty solid mystery. And we don't need another nudie flick this month, because A Shot in the Dark itself has scenes at a nudist colony. Blake Edwards, of course, returned as director here.
But while we've been having fun talking about other movies the directors have done, this one has an intriguing writer credit. William Peter Blatty co-wrote it, so you can say from the author of The Exorcist. Though I can't play the director game with the next one, as this was the only film to be directed by mega producer Samuel Goldwyn Jr. This is The Young Lovers, a pregnancy drama with Peter Fonda, where the lives of two happy-go-lucky college students change when, oops, what do you mean you can get pregnant from pushing the twin beds together? This was a passion project for Goldwyn, as it was based on a 1956 novel, and Goldwyn had tried getting it made for years, but was never happy with the script, then decided to direct it himself so he could have full control. He even did lecture tours with it. The movie came and went and had a mixed reaction, but at least the dude got it done. And maybe our leads learned about condoms. And let's see, we've had cats this month, dogs, a monkey, what else could there be? A dolphin? That's exactly what it is, and it's getting the red carpet treatment.
That glamorous star who just a year ago took the entertainment world by storm has gone Hollywood. Anything for publicity.
Flipper's a freaking sellout, complete with scandal.
Like this latest escapade, swimming in public without any clothes on.
Flipper also joined a nudist colony? Like with the first Flipper movie from 1963, this came out before the premiere of the television series, where Luke Halpin returns, getting himself in danger again, and so is the dolphin.
But it's attacking us!
Ow, you bitch! Is it a love story too?
Gee, what fella wants to share his private island with a girl?
Come on, let's play the Blue Lagoon. There's a lot going on here. A hostage situation? Go see Flipper's new adventure, or you'll be confused when you watch the TV pilot. Will we be getting another Roger Corman Poe adaptation this year? I think we are. Or it's just the costume party on board the Titanic. That monkey is thrilled to be back from Mars. Here, Vincent Price, in complete Monty Python vision, stars in Mask of the Red Death, the 7th Corman Poe adaptation, with this one using the short story as its basis, as well as elements of Torture of Hope and Poe's Hop Frog, where this satanic prince isn't gonna let the plague get in the way of terrorizing the villagers. The Church of Satan has never been more sexy.
I want to help save your soul so you can join me in the glories of hell.
No!
You're focusing too much on the hell. Think more about the glory.
Like all the Corman Edgar Allan Poe movies, it's a gorgeously shot gothic horror film, which still reminds me of television.
Let me see your face.
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids.
It may be a June movie, but it's perfect to watch in October, whereas I think June is turning into a pitch meeting.
Want to hear a wild idea? Robin Hood. Yeah.
Is that it? You spending too much time at that drugstore? Please, continue.
Robin Hood in Chicago. No bows and arrows, none of that.
Yeah, we're gonna steal from the rich and put 2 bullets in the back of the sheriff's head.
Is the pitch man gonna get to the point?
Well, they went and did it. Called it, now get this, Robin and the 7 Hoods.
The trailer guy sounds like a drunk man bothering me at the bar. It was me who came up with the idea for Scarface. I guess I was wrong about gangster movies being a very early 60s thing. They're making a comeback this month, though this one is in spoof mode, as it's a Rat Pack movie where they play the Robin Hood characters as gangsters.
Sammy Davis Jr. is Will Scarlet.
Can't you tell Robin and I are brothers? Plus it features Bing Crosby and more pandemonium. You're not bringing the Red Death to this town. It's known today for the classic Frank Sinatra tune, My Kind of Town, and that Frank was going through a lot while making it. It was filmed during the Kennedy assassination that affected him hard, plus his son Frank Jr. was kidnapped around this time too. Damn, give him an Oscar for that stress alone. Or at least give him Sammy's gun so he can take out some anger on those lights. It's a popular enough Rat Pack film, as who doesn't want to see them play gangsters? And there's ass, lots of ass.
But here's one that absolutely fascinates me. Oh, it makes sense who wrote it. It's from Oscar-winning writer Ben Hecht, who was behind this year's Seven Faces of Dr. Lao, and co-wrote the play for which Jumbo is based on. Where here, they're making a Ben-Hur style epic about the circus. This is Circus World, starring John Wayne. And I thought I had seen all the big John Wayne movies, but this was mysteriously never on my radar. Even my dad, a gigantic Duke fan, was like, oh, I kinda remember Circus World, where here Duke travels with a circus, and of course has to rescue someone and protect the girls.
The girl he raised and loved as a daughter.
I'm a woman. I love everybody.
Hey, I call dibs. One answer to why I never came across this in my youth is that it rarely got any TV play. It was a big budget bomb that had some behind the scenes problems, like going through different directors. Plus it was collateral damage from the failure of the fall of the Roman Empire, as this came from the same mega producer, Samuel Bronston, who was already going through a lot of debt from that previous film, so it almost feels like this was put out there to die. It was unfortunately the last big budget epic produced by Bronston, but we'll always have the toy store till that closed. In the lower budgeted end of the month, we can do another war picture, I'm sure, as this is The Cavern starring John Saxon, which is also a survival film where soldiers are trapped in a cave after a bombing. It's one where the backstory also stands out more, as it was possibly ghost-written by Dalton Trumbo, who had a comeback after Spartacus and Exodus, though his son Christopher claims this was written while his dad was blacklisted, and some other writers were used as fronts. But even though the film was made after he was no longer blacklisted, he still didn't want his name on the credits because he didn't like the script. If Saxon's in it, I'll watch it. Coming up in July, Hitchcock returns, the Beatles take over America, Ronald Reagan slaps Angie Dickinson, and yes, there are more dolphins.
So go ahead and pick the drink that lets you drink young as you think. You get the right one, the modern light one. Now it's Pepsi for those who think young.
Let's see, last month we went to Mars, but that didn't work out so well for Robinson Crusoe, so maybe we should plan a closer trip this month, like the moon! Actually, we haven't perfected moon travel yet, so let's just stay on Earth and call the movie The Moon Spinners. We'll still keep with the dolphin theme from last month and have it be in the Bay of Dolphins. What kind of Haley Mills are we getting here? Dark Haley Mills or Disney Haley Mills? How about both, as this was her 5th Disney film, where here she and her aunt go on vacation, and Haley strikes up a romance with a young man, which leads to a mystery involving jewel thieves. It was based on a novel by Mary Stewart, which was a much darker book intended for adult audiences, but here they go the teen mystery route, with a poster that looks like Nancy Drew is joining one of the Hardy Boys to find jewel thieves. Where's Tommy Kirk when you need him? Now, if it's dark you want, you've got Sidney Lumet's The Pawnbroker, starring Rod Steiger in his breakout role, which earned him an Oscar nomination, and he is outstanding in this. In it, he plays a survivor of the Nazi concentration camps, living a life of depression and pushing anyone away who tries getting close to him, and it's a very notable film for many reasons. It was the first American film that had recreations of the Holocaust, and with the lead being a survivor, and had a lot of fighting with the MPAA over scenes of nudity. What the hell would the MPAA have thought if they had to rate an Olga film? The cinematography also stands out, as you feel like you're deep into these nights of binge drinking and sadness. It was shot by Boris Kaufman, who also shot On the Waterfront and 12 Angry Men, and this year's World of Henry Orient. That'll explain why the girls now have Rod Steiger posters on their walls. You know what this also needs? That's right, even more dolphins. We're in a very dolphin-heavy summer. That's no surprise here. The Island of the Blue Dolphins is from director James B. Clarke, the director of the first Flipper movie. This one wants you to know that not only is it based on a book by Bugs Bunny with his paintbrush, but one that won all the awards.
The coveted Newbery Medal, the Rupert Hughes Award, the Hans Christian Andersen Award, the William Allen White Award.
Yes, but was it ever advertised in zoo books? That must mean it's gonna be a heroic dolphin who protects the young Native American girl who goes searching for her brother on an island of dinosaurs? What kind of place is this?
Like Robinson Crusoe, she fought loneliness, terror, and danger.
Excellent. She's also gonna fight flying saucers on Mars. It fools you, though. It isn't a girl and her dolphin movie, it's a girl and her dog movie. This was truly the Zeus and Roxanne of its time. With wolves, too!
The Attack of the Wolf Dogs.
Y'all got any delicious dinosaur meat? The wolves are nothing, there's also bandits.
The battle between bow and arrow and the attacking guns of the Aleut invader.
I should have seen that coming. My mistake.
Why are you laughing? It's a true story. It isn't, but we'll still use the words true life. I'll know to take my family if it's got a dog reaction shot. I think it'll be something else that the kids will want to see, though. That's right, the Beatles have arrived to invent British music.
So long, Henry Orient and Rod Steiger posters. We've got the Beatles running from a zombie invasion. As in, where do I go? I got tickets for the zombies. Also, slow down. Damn, that's quite the stumble. Is she okay? And keep it down, you kids. I'm trying to have a snack over here. Directed by Richard Lester and showing 36 hours in the life of the Beatles before a big show, and as influential as the Beatles themselves are, so is this movie right down to its style and editing, as it was shot by Gilbert Taylor, who also shot the year's Dr. Strangelove. It paved the way for this kind of fly-on-the-wall rock star movie. So in the years after, we would have similar movies like Ferry Cross the Mersey starring Jerry and the Pacemakers, which was also shot by Gilbert Taylor. The movie knows exactly how to advertise itself. The promos showcase its fun and hyper montage style. And evil Paul? I knew it! Paul is dead and that's his double. All the trailer needs to do is just play the title song and we're good. It was the 10th highest grossing movie of the year, where everyone was a fan except for James Bond later in the year. And hello, you're not evil Paul at all. You're Dave Clark! As groundbreaking as that film is, though, it's the next one I go back to more.
Temptation never came in a more dangerous package.
Ugh, the champagne's not Corbel. This is Ernest Hemingway's The Killers, where someone wants revenge for the accident that happened in Viva Las Vegas. It's a hitman movie where two hired guns seek clues as to why their target didn't try to flee, and they want the story of why they were hired in the first place. Directed by the great Don Siegel, it's a stylish film noir. Like, how does the boss's girl factor into this? And who is the boss who is tied up in this love triangle?
Only Hemingway could have conceived it.
Honey, this is your time for choosing. That's right, Ronald Reagan is crime boss Jack Browning in one of my favorites of his acting career. I love this cast, from John Cassavetes as the man they're hired to kill, Clu Gulager as the other hitman who's gonna make sure you lose all the weight, and it was Reagan's last film before he entered politics, and is the only movie where he played a villain. Even though I heard he didn't much care for playing a heavy, he is great in this. And he looks so much like politician Reagan that it's surreal when this happens.
I like it here.
Well, I can change that in a hurry.
Christ, Ron! He looked like he did that as soon as he stepped off stage at the 64 RNC. Hemingway's book was also adapted into a 1946 movie, but it's this version I'm more familiar with. If you want some sexy, sleazy fun, and a cool double feature with something like Point Blank with Lee Marvin, make sure The Killers is one of the movies you watch from this video. While we may not have an Olga movie this month, we've got something called Lady in a Cage, close enough. This is more of a Hitchcockian style thriller, right down to a trailer intro.
You see me in these pleasant surroundings, safe, secure.
But am I really?
Word is Slap Happy Reagan is hiding behind the curtains. Figures. I can think of 2 reasons I'm having trouble concentrating. Whatever you say, Mr. Haviland. I'll get in that cage with you. All I'm getting here is that we should see Lady in a Cage alone.
So I caution you, do not see it alone. See Lady in a Cage with somebody you can hold on to.
Can do. I'll be holding on to my alien popcorn bucket. Which I haven't watched, apparently. This is starting out like I've paid tickets to a carnival show.
Help! Please, help!
Step right up! Watch Olivia turn into a gorilla!
If it isn't bad enough she's trapped in a private elevator, there's gang members that have taken over the place. They're not doing anything wrong. Beatlemania legalized rioting. It's also an early role for James Caan, alongside some colorful characters.
The wino, half crazed with his own destroying sin.
I love a 64 Pinot Noir.
The hustler, a blousy has-been. The most amazing role Ann Southern ever played.
I can beat Minnesota Fats in the bedroom.
The muscler, lusting for the last wild thrill of killing.
Carlos Head has a date with a garbage can.
The weirdo, a blonde psycho driven to tempt, to taunt, to destroy.
I have a ferret on a leash. I'm weird.
The wildo, frenzied by a woman's body, or the razor edge of a sharp, glittering knife.
Get that away from me. Wildo isn't even a word. There's so many supporting characters, I keep forgetting about the Lady in a Cage. Despite getting negative reviews at the time, the actors are having such a great time going over the top, especially the great scenery-chewing James Caan performance, so you can have a lot of fun with the film, which feels like if The Purge existed in the 60s. Forget having a fright release. Here, even the theaters agree with Olivia that you shouldn't see this alone. Why? What's gonna happen? That doesn't make your theater look like a safe place to hang out in. Also, it isn't great advertising when you pause it before the sentence ends, and it just looks like the theater doesn't want you to see it at all. Everyone's a critic. Just like how critics don't want you to see the next one either.
Summer's here, it's a holiday. School is out, now it's time to play.
There's been enough beach movies this year. I'm tired of playing. I want to go back to school. What, are we already getting another beach party movie? That's exactly what's happening, as Bikini Beach is the 3rd in the Beach Party series, and released mere months after Muscle Beach Party. Hey, if American audiences can have 2 Bond films, 2 Clouseau films, and 3 Olga films this year, why not Beach Party?
Everybody's going to Bikini Beach.
Because we can't go a month without Trailer Guy whistling at someone's ass. Frankie is back, Annette, Don Rickles, but here it's Keenan Wynn who's had enough of their tomfoolery.
I'm determined to prove that you young people are borderline cases leaning toward feeble-mindedness, with an abnormal preoccupation with sex.
That's right, no one's gonna stop us from holding hands while dry humping before church. What is this even about?
Serpent Monkey Shines versus The Call of Love.
Okay, can we go back to the monkey, please? Actually, this one may have the funniest plot of the 3, where Keenan Wynn hates teens so much he wants to prove that his chimp is smarter than them, and maybe a better race car driver too. Well, another successful plan fulfilled. They've got more music acts here, from the Pyramids to Stevie Wonder, and they actually did write it to include the Beatles, but after their appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show, their fee skyrocketed, and we need that extra cash for our Naked Cowboy budget. So long, Bikini Beach. Of course, we're gonna see you in 1965 with even more entries in this franchise. I bet the next one comes with jokes too.
Who do contented cows moo for?
Ooh, I know this. Their favorite movie stars?
Good neighbor Sam.
I don't get it. You got any more?
Who do discriminating ducks quack for?
Ooh, a tight butt quack?
Good neighbor Sam.
You can't use the same punchline twice. I still don't get it. Crap, there's more? Who do sophisticated sheep baa for? Yeah, good neighbor Sam. But why do they look like they're gonna harass the lady in a cage? So yeah, that's the title of the movie. It's a screwball comedy with Jack Lemmon, similar to the tone of 63's Under the Yum Yum Tree, only here he's a happily married man, obviously hired to build Pee-wee's house and gadgets. Why do you even need that? Jack becomes part of a scheme with his neighbor to help her get inheritance money, so he poses as her husband. Not that that's stopping the flirting.
I've been watching you off and on since Tuesday night, you know. My goodness. Such goings on.
You didn't ask me to be a part of this? Oh, heavens.
Damn, this is getting him in trouble with Edward G. Robinson and traffic police. He's taking the turn so hard, even the camera crew is about to fall out. And seriously, what the hell is with women getting trapped in elevators this month?
Hang on, the wino, the weirdo, and the wildo aren't around. I'll see what I can do.
If Sam is such a good neighbor, then why are his shenanigans waking us up at night? And since we can't top the Reagan slap, I guess this will do. Why? But sorry, Mr. Haviland, we actually do have a Hitchcock movie this month, which will be introduced in classic Hitchcock form like it's a short film, if he can ever get down.
How do you do?
I've been trapped up there for hours. James Caan stole my jewelry. His latest film is Marnie, which will be different from the others.
It is not Psycho, nor do we have a horde of birds flapping about and pecking at people willy-nilly.
We've decided to have an army of dolphins.
I love that he advertises his films like they're comedies, only they're thrillers, while the comedy about a cartoon fish was advertised as serious as a heart attack. Like with Woman of Straw, this stars Sean Connery in a different type of role, but still very well dressed. Who will be his Marnie girl?
One wonders how two such different people could cross paths.
Yes, my last wife died of gold poisoning. Tippi Hedren is so good at stealing loot, she doesn't even need a mask. But she's hot, though.
What would account for this strange behavior? Has she just realized that she forgot her umbrella?
Connery's gonna have his hands more full than when he was strapped in a steam machine. Even though she had plans to rob him after he hires her, he turns it around and blackmails her into marrying him. How could she resist his charm?
Our hero applies mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
Alfred, please, you're ruining the moment. So Marnie has some deep psychological problems, which Connery tries to get to the bottom of.
I'm just something you've caught. You think I'm some kind of animal you've trapped.
That's right, you are.
Well, at least he's an honest husband, I guess. Like with Psycho and The Birds, it had a mixed response upon release, and while it didn't do as well as those other two, it gained solid reviews as time went on, but damn, we missed out on Alfred Hitchcock audio commentary tracks.
I don't think that was necessary.
Is Hitchcock giving a negative review of his own movie? Don't see it alone. See it with your own obsessive husband. Their marriage can't be that bad because it's Shock Treatment that will have bitching in the kitchen and crying in the bedroom all night. Oh wait, different Shock Treatment. This 1964 movie also rides off psychological thrillers like Psycho, but also advertising like Joan Crawford in Strait Jacket, whereas here this features Lauren Bacall. It's an inheritance thriller too, as Stuart Whitman plays an actor hired to infiltrate an insane asylum to find out from a killer where $1 million in stolen money is hidden. It came and went, and Bacall wasn't a very big fan of it, but it's worth it for the curiosity of seeing Roddy McDowall play the killer who decapitates a man with gardening shears. Between Haley Mills, Dorothy Provine, and now Roddy, it's a month for that darn Cat alumni in wildly different movies. And since Sean Connery is busy with Hitchcock this month, others will have to carry on with the spying.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I thought I'd been filed for life.
I'm guessing spoof. Yes, this is Carry On Spying, the 9th in the Carry On series, which is part Clouseau, part Bond parody, as a deadly formula has been stolen by the criminal organization Stench, and only a bumbling spy can save the world.
All ready to get off a slick draw like that, you see? Don't make these things the right way round.
Not Britishy enough. He's gonna use some of Paul's master of disguise skills. The movie went through some headaches during production, as Albert Broccoli threatened legal action over a character named James Bind, so the character's name was changed, and they had to alter the poster so it wouldn't look so much like From Russia with Love. It all worked out though, as this was a highly acclaimed entry in the series, and like with Bond, we'll get another Carry On movie this year too. They're getting these done quick. That explains the wacky fast motion. For a more serious topic though, we're going back to court, but without Larry Buchanan.
It must be taken into consideration determining this child's future.
What is he talking about? I never even met Lee Harvey Oswald. This is One Potato, Two Potato, a racially driven drama about interracial relationships where a divorced mother strikes up a romance with a black man, leading to her ex-husband wanting full custody, and the two trying to flee the state. It was the first film for director Larry Pierce, later of 2 Minute Warning, Ash Wednesday, and the notorious Wired. This had far better reviews though, and I'm guessing it also went over a little better than My Baby is Black! But while Jack Lemmon was getting into some shenanigans in Good Neighbor Sam, he was unavailable for the shenanigans of Ensign Pulver. This is a sequel to the 1955 film Mr. Roberts, which won Lemmon an Oscar for supporting actor, only in this, his character of Pulver was recast with Robert Walker Jr. But it does have Walter Matthau in it, so Lemmon is there in spirit. It's also got a small role for Jack Nicholson, who helped with the casting for director Joshua Logan, later of Paint Your Wagon. However, the movie didn't share the same success as the first, as it was a hard sell to audiences with a lot of the recasting that went on, and that the character of Mr. Roberts wasn't in it. Or maybe people wanted some extra skin. How do you top the sex-filled advertising of Marnie or the bare breasts of the pawnbroker? Why, by releasing a skin flick called Lullaby of Bearland, where a married couple spend time apart to reignite the excitement, which means she goes to a nudist camp and he sees some strippers. I'm sure the movie will keep it classy.
Listen to me while I tell you of the Spanish love of my life.
Doubtful Sean Connery did that in Marnie. You know, none of this would have happened if you just let me read the damn paper. Yeah, I see your leg. Very sexy. Do you mind? The Born Loser is about to do something stupid. I'm getting out of here. I don't care what Olivia de Havilland says. I'm watching Lady in a Cage alone.
Coming up in August, sure, Mary Poppins flies in to scoop up 13 Oscar nominations, but we gotta find out what the August Surf movie will be, of course.
Surf, tested and approved by leading makers, washes cleaner, rinses cleaner, leaves your machine clean too. Surf will get it clean, cleaner than it's ever been. Tested and approved by leading washing machine makers.
What does it matter what month of 1964 it is? We know what kind of movie is coming up next. Of course it's another surf movie! With a kickin' theme song by Jan and Dean, and with handsome leads.
Hail, hail, the gang's all here. This is a regular summit meeting. Every top surfer in the world must be here.
Wrong, I don't see Keanu Reeves or Patrick Swayze anywhere. Here, Fabian and Tab Hunter hit the beaches for what else? Wiping out and dancing.
With the guys who go where the action is, and the gals who go for the action guys.
Your standards are too low.
Shelley Fabaret is sick of waiting for her Johnny Angel, and what's going on here?
Why are you all just back there watching us? You're making this weird.
This movie doesn't make the beaches look very safe.
Fabian is Jody, a wild kid who does anything for kicks.
Especially murder!
Dare I ask what the other cast members are up to?
Shelley Fabaret is Bree, old enough to fall in love, too young to know better.
Not too old for you to end up back in my court, Uncle Touchy.
Tab Hunter is steamer. He goes all the way for everything Hawaiian.
God, I'll eat some pineapple out of her Hawaiian rolls.
And of course, Barbara Eden is in another movie this month.
Can we wrap this up? Tony Randall is gonna know I'm gone any minute.
And we're on a budget here. Robert's out, so we're springing for Jim Mitchum.
It's advertised like the other beach movies of the year, but the tone of the movie is more of a drama than the Frankie and Annette flicks, especially behind the scenes. It was supposed to star Jan and Dean, till they happened to be friends with the man who took part in the Frank Sinatra Jr. kidnapping. The hell? The behind the scenes could make for a movie in and of itself. Hell, I'm surprised Jim Hutton and Connie Francis didn't pop up somewhere.
Oh right, it's because they're in the next movie, Looking for Love, featuring a lot of other cast members of Where the Boys Are, and also, wait, Johnny Carson? This will be his collision course. Here Connie is a singer, looking for love, duh, and it's a screwball rom-com, so there will be a lot of phones.
This is the owner and president of this outfit, Horace McBride.
Oh? Do you know who this is?
No.
Will you just patch me through to my mistress?
Connie dreams of being a famous singer, but shenanigans get in the way.
She starts the first thing in the morning. Just ask her roommate. And things get worse as the day goes along.
Did any employer do background checks in the 60s?
She's willing to give it all up for romance.
Chemistry's so good, they're ready for the awkward school dance.
He's very subtle in his approach, too.
I admire a woman with brains and talents, especially one who's not afraid to show it.
I'm so glad.
A nice can, sweet cheeks.
Johnny comes in when she gets a guest spot on The Tonight Show, but the movie did provide a lot of fodder for him over the years, as he would joke about its poor reception, so much so that even Siskel and Ebert came on to partake. It'll be the next film that the boys would probably give higher reviews to.
One man. 3 women.
And how? Sounds like a quality Saturday night to me. From director John Huston and adapted from the Tennessee Williams play, Night of the Iguana went on to receive a few nominations during awards season and was a box office hit, but a huge disappointment to anyone going in thinking it was a horror film about a giant iguana. Instead, Burton plays an Episcopalian reverend, part of his holy man era for films, and it's an era of more underage references.
What's statutory rape? I've never known what that was.
That's when a man is seduced by a girl under 20.
You answered that fast, sir. The good reverend has been shunned from his church for inappropriate relationships with school teachers, so now he works as a tour bus driver, driving a group of women through Mexico. He has his vacation set. Hang on, let me just drive through the set of Sorcerer, and we can get back to the kinky shit.
Oh, yeah.
Stop it! Stop it!
Let me out of here.
What's the safe word? You give me a great performance from Richard Burton as a burnt-out drunk man, and you've sold yourself a ticket. Folks looking for horror may be disappointed in the next one as well. Sure, it's called Monster of Camp Sunshine, but by monster, we mean old Madman Mars is just out with his axe again. Oh, and it's joining the flock of Dr. Strangelove titlesploitation, as the full title is The Monster of Camp Sunshine, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Nature. It's not a nature documentary either. It's another nudie flick. Here a gardener at a nudist camp drinks radioactive water, as you do, and becomes a monster who is gonna ruin their tanning time. This just looks like Richard Burton tricked a bus full of girls into going to a nude beach. Oh, and the gimmick here is that it's presented like a silent film. Sure, 'cause that's what I want to do when I watch a nudie flick. Read.
Perhaps the next one will be better suited for the empowerment crowd.
It's Kisses for My President, featuring Polly Bergen as the first female U.S. president, but the movie is mainly how much her husband Fred McMurray hates the idea. Honey, I know you're the leader of the free world, but what will the guys at the bowling alley say? Just look at the poster. Come to see the first woman president. Stay for how we emasculate this whiny sack of shit. Say, does she keep your Washington Monument in her purse? A comedy with better reviews, though, would be Crooks and Cloisters. You can tell it's British. I think it's starring the head-beating monks from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Here, a gang of thieves commit a train robbery and decide to hide out in a monastery. Wait, no, it's not the Holy Grail of its time. It's the nuns on the run of the 60s. I've still got sex on my mind, though, but I'd like something a little classier than a nude beach.
My name is Polly Adler, and I'm the madam of a brothel.
I'm listening. This is A House Is Not a Home, starring Shelley Winters in a biopic of famous madam and author Polly Adler, and based on Adler's book and released 2 years after she passed away from cancer. The film has her recounting her life story at a party, from being sexually assaulted at work and the events that led to her running a high-class brothel, and ties to gangster Lucky Luciano. I mean, the Joker? Cesar Romero, what are you doing here? Now we're getting a horror movie finally, thanks! Pat Boone? I don't know how scary this will be. Look, she's absolutely thrilled to be here. Though it does mix a bit of horror and comedy, as a man and his fiancée visit her family, only people turn up dead because, yes, there's inheritance money involved. If that sounds familiar, it should. It basically does the same thing as 1963's The Old Dark House, itself a remake of a 1932 film. We'll still see the horror of it all. It's on a double bill with Witchcraft. We're getting a 2-for-1 deal here. Hell, Witchcraft is also advertised in the trailer, with prizes.
Be sure to get your free witch deflector as you enter the theater to see...
Can't I just throw a cup of water on her? At least that's free.
If you're wondering why Christopher Lee is in neither of those movies, he's busy in The Devil Ship Pirates, which is Hammer Films going outside the horror genre for this high seas adventure.
This was the English Channel in the year 1588.
I still wish one of these movies had a giant iguana. They're going big budget here.
Of transporters, supply ships, and privateers.
Pull him over! He no longer has a license plate.
I'm sure they can trust Christopher Lee on this ship.
I am taking command of this ship. Return to your battle stations. Now you...
We didn't do employee background checks in the 1500s either.
Whether he's Dracula or a pirate, he's gonna be terrorizing some sort of village. They're making things miserable for the town. Look, soon there will be no hair grease left for the teen heartthrob. It's still like a monster movie. They even sneak up on the horny young folk. And if Richard Burton can have several women, then so can we.
And I'm taking those 6 girls as hostages. If any of you try to interfere with our departure...
Yeah, go ahead. More food for us. We ain't stopping you.
Not only will they fight back, but they'll be zany about it. That guy was probably gonna have an accident at some point anyway. Uh-oh, did I say zany? I've summoned the great Jerry Lewis himself. We've seen him play a bellboy before, but now he's the Patsy, where he's playing another bellboy. This was actually intended to be a sequel to The Bellboy, under the proposed title of Son of Bellboy, and he even has the same first name in both movies. But here, opportunity awaits.
How would you like to make $150 each and every week?
Well, he's already losing money snorting his own shit. The plot has to do with a comedian who dies in a plane crash, and I just know it's got something to do with either Keenan Wynn or Peter Lorre. Keenan Wynn had better be angry in this too. I can smell the bat guano now. So the comedian's management team thinks they found the next big comedy star in Jerry. If he also doesn't die tragically, they're teaching him to be a star, including getting so laid. Johnny Carson's busy this month, so we'll book you on another show. Just don't make a fool of yourself. Good Lord, he doesn't even have to touch anything and he's breaking everything in the room. Your management will have to pay for all of this. And what's with movie titles this month? Some sound like horror films, and now we have a movie that sounds like a western but isn't. It's called Behold a Pale Horse. It's even from Fred Zinnemann, the director of High Noon. It stars Gregory Peck as a Spanish bandit named Manuel Arias. Sure, I'll go along. Here he returns home after many years and is being hunted by the captain of the police, Anthony Quinn. And I bet Omar Sharif is in here as well.
Omar Sharif, playing a role in sharp contrast to his portrayal of the arrogant sheik in Lawrence of Arabia.
Is he Frankenstein? I am setting up a trap for this bandit. I don't think he's Spanish at all. Despite the big cast and big name director, the film was a box office disappointment, but was praised for its stunning cinematography and suspense and courage, of course. Sure could use a horse right about now. Hell, now we've got a movie that could be a nudie film, but isn't. Though another good guess is that something called Diary of a Bachelor is an affair rom-com. And how here a woman finds her husband's diary and sees all the various women he's been sleeping with. Rookie mistake in keeping a diary. What was a romantic comedy in the 60s would today be a Netflix documentary about a scam artist. The poster implies he's been busy sleeping with all the models from the refrigerator ads in the Sears catalog. Also a movie that sounds like a nudie film but isn't. It's The Beauty Jungle. You're a little late for the party, fellas. The Beatles have already been here. And ooh, it was dangerous filming Google Street View in the 60s. From director Val Guest, the movie shows what it takes to be a beauty queen.
And a picture in the local paper started a transformation that any girl would envy.
Herschel Gordon Lewis movies, here I come. It even has a plot like I'd see in a sexploitation film, as it's an expose on all the background dirt in the pageant industry. If this were a nudie cutie, it'd just be 60 minutes of a topless couch session. Whereas here, her modeling is making things tough for her dorky husband. Don't piss me off or I'll run for president. This party is so high class, they even got Richard Nixon serving drinks. Now who wants to play Toss the Dame? I'm waiting for it to go full drop dead gorgeous and have an explosion somewhere. Wait, Edmund Purdom is in this? You're all in danger. He's gonna sew your body parts together. It's in CinemaScope too. Their dead inside smiles will grace all corners of the screen. And for more romance with less drunken girl tossing, it's I'd Rather Be Rich, a Sandra Dee vehicle, which is a remake of the 1941 movie It Started with Eve, where a woman's dying grandfather wants to meet her fiancé, but the fiancé is unavailable, so she hires Robert Goulet to stand in for him. The world was a complicated time before the invention of video chatting. Any movie featuring both Robert Goulet and Andy Williams will have all the kids from The Simpsons attending. Doesn't really matter how that did at the box office because everyone will be checking out the next film. And my theater has been chosen for a special engagement of the brand new Walt Disney musical Mary Poppins. I saw that Simpsons episode too. Damn, this is going on for a while. What the hell? You could make the lines a little wider? This is as long as the script. Good, the nanny's here. I've needed my office cleaned for a while. Well, someone's also getting into Jerry's good stuff. A crowning achievement in 60s Disney musical epics, and one of the biggest star makers in movie history. This was the film debut for Julie Andrews, and it topped the year's box office and got a then record-setting 13 Oscar nominations and won her the award for Best Actress. Hell of a way to start a movie career, while Dick Van Dyke is having the time of his life beating the shit out of that accent. The accent never really bothered me. It seems in keeping with the character. She will use her witchcraft for good in repairing the relationship of the Banks kids and their dad. Not to mention...
Gun ready, sir.
Stand by! Fire!
Oh, bloody hell, another terrorist attack. Someone will bring cheer to these kids.
Well, now there must be some mistake. Your dad's a fine gentleman and he loves you.
I don't think so. You should have seen the look on his face.
God blimey, you're the children of the damned, ain't you? With catchy songs that are impossible to get out of your head, it's a true Disney masterpiece, and the only one of theirs in Disney's lifetime to get a nomination for Best Picture. And how it's the movie that made all of us want our own nanny, until Rebecca De Mornay ruined it! Coming up in September, spaghetti westerns are going to make things gritty again, and James Bond will attempt to save all the beauty pageants from being painted gold.
I don't wish to panic you, but it's time for commercial.
In September of '64, we got more franchises of the '60s, and they're smart to start with the most important one first. That's right, Olga's Girls, where we find a significantly more frustrated Olga.
Trouble before. When will these girls ever learn that I'm here? Why do they owe me? I'm trying to run a business. Don't they
Yeah, they've had 3 movies now to learn their lesson. They're interrupting the work ethic of this successful businesswoman. Here, Olga is trying to keep her white slavery business thriving, but there seems to be a rat in the midst looking to bring her down. It's getting to where you can't even kidnap girls and get them hooked on drugs without the law breathing down your neck. This was the 3rd and final Olga movie of the year, but not the last Olga movie in general, as 1969 had Olga's Dance Hall Girls, where the ladies learn rhythm. There, Olga was played by a different actress. What? No, Audrey Campbell is our Olga. That's like having an Ilsa film without Diane Thorne. Even the next film feels like it wants to visit Olga's brothel.
A strange land sleeps like a beautiful woman, so still, so mysterious.
Creep alert! What the hell is going on here?
So untouched. Until...
Okay, can't say I saw that coming. The Seventh Dawn is a war picture that brings the fire back to 1964, if we can get past the weird trailer guy.
Men, women, and war stand naked in the blaze of the Seventh Dawn.
Why does anyone have to be naked? From future Bond director Louis Gilbert, this stars William Holden, Capucine, and Susanna York, and is set in Malaya shortly after World War II, where Holden is a businessman whose friendship is ruined when one man turns communist machete fighter. And it hurts his love life, too.
I promise, no more girls. And no more politics for you.
What a deal. You stop cheating and I'll mind my place. That's right, of course, there's a love triangle.
Miss Candace Trumpy, this is Miss Donna Mercier, my mistress.
People just casually introduced their mistresses in the 60s. The movie didn't do particularly well, but it shows that Louis Gilbert can direct action. Can you explode a car and blow up sets? You're perfect to direct You Only Live Twice and The Spy Who Loved Me. But we haven't had a Western in a couple months. Let's get one in here, and with fury, too. Hey, that's making me furious over here. This one also has a blend of ruined friendships, action, and sleeping around, as Bullet for a Bad Man stars Audie Murphy and Darren McGavin as their 2 Texas Rangers, but not only has Gavin turned into a criminal, but he's also shacked up with Audie's wife. They really could have put this on a double bill with The Seventh Dawn. Watch this.
I feel sort of naked without my gun.
So does the trailer guy just always have a stack of Playboys sitting nearby? And Bullet for a Bad Man won't be the only Western this month. We'll be getting a much more influential Western very soon. Before that, though, get the laughs and the perviest faces ready because we've got the Comedy Man.
Always a laugh on his lips.
Share my wigwam.
Always a girl in his arms.
Because why wouldn't there be? What's going on here? We're getting ready for the gritty reboot of F Troop. Looks like we got another movie where the title makes you think it's another genre. The Comedy Man is actually a drama, where Kenneth More is an out-of-work actor let go due to sexual misconduct, and he's trying to put his life back together. I've got an audition, honey. I'm gonna be in a Kevin Sorbo movie. And there's Edmund Purdom again. I'm scouting more contestants for the Beauty Jungle. I'm sure he'll be successful at trying his hand at comedy before he becomes the Joker. But back to trailers that open like a travelogue.
Istanbul, Constantinople of old, the pearl of the Middle East.
Yes, but who's gonna be naked? So many sights to see on my trip, and games too.
The wrestlers, the dancers.
Careful, you're exciting the trailer guy again. Although I wasn't expecting this to happen.
Hello. Melina McCory, what are you doing here?
I've been stuck up here for days. How much you get me a ladder, hot stuff? This is Top Cappy, featuring Maximilian Schell and Peter Ustinov, and plenty of cigarettes. It's a heist film where a con man joins a band of art thieves to steal a special dagger. Someone's already stolen the Pink Panther, we gotta take something. This actually had some influence as the sequences of the gang putting together a seemingly impossible mission, yes, led it to inspiring the Mission Impossible TV series, give or take some slaps.
By violence, by laughter.
You gotta stop with the slaps. Nothing is ever gonna top the Reagan slap. It was another this year that was originally supposed to feature Peter Sellers, only he backed out because he heard Schell was hard to work with. How hard to work with you have to be for Sellers to drop out? But for religious epics that don't involve Richard Burton, it's the Gospel According to St. Matthew from director Pier Paolo Pasolini, and completely unlike other biblical films we'd gotten up to this point, as Pasolini crafted a deeply human depiction of the life of Christ, filmed with Italian neo-realism with non-professional actors and lines coming directly from the gospel. It's way less about big-budget spectacle and lets the really haunting music and fly-on-the-wall imagery speak for themselves. This had its Italian release in '64 and didn't come to the States till '66, and remains one of the more unique and authentic adaptations of the Gospels in the '60s. Also, what you might see in the art house is Lorna, and would you believe it's from director Russ Meyer? Gone were the days of Russ's nudie cuties where someone's spying in on women changing their clothes, as here we have a dramatic storyline with the style of a foreign film, where an unsatisfied wife wants to take on other lovers, till she falls for an escaped convict who assaults her. She must have had some shitty husband. If morality play Russ Meyer isn't what you're looking for this month, he'll have another movie later on in September too. But I know exactly what I'm spending my money on this month.
This short cigar belongs to the man with no name.
You gonna share some with the rest of us?
This long gun belongs to the man with no name.
Perhaps I'd know that if you put your name on it. And this badass bulletproof vest also belongs to the man with no name and Marty McFly. One of the most influential films of all time, Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars completely changed what we thought westerns were supposed to look like and sound like too, with its music by Ennio Morricone, and it brought in a whole wave of films in the spaghetti western genre, where the romanticism was stripped and we get extremely gritty realism where good luck going into any town without being shot at within seconds, or far too much beer for one person, based on Kurosawa's Yojimbo, where a stranger wanders into town and plays one gang against the other. Not only did it give us a whole new style of Western, but was the first leading man role for Clint Eastwood, making him an international star by the time the movie came to the United States in '67. With his badass presence and ultra cool lines, he was born to be a lead.
3 coffins ready.
Yeah, in a spaghetti western, you'll need more than 3 coffins.
I don't think it's nice you laughing.
Okay, no more jokes. Dismissed by critics during its Italian release in '64, word of mouth spread like crazy because, like myself when I first saw it, it blew me away as the type of western I'd never seen before. And it led to what I consider the most perfect trilogy in the history of cinema. And if Russ Meyer can have a different type of film in September, so can Roger Corman.
1943. Somewhere in Nazi-occupied territory are 5 men.
Did he say Nazi-occupied territory? We gotta get out of here! This was Corman going for a World War II action picture, as it's like The Dirty Dozen before The Dirty Dozen, where a major leads criminals on a dangerous mission.
Are their extraordinary talents equal to the task of ripping out its secret?
Nope, we were caught pretty quickly, actually. Movie's over. The Secret Invasion is a pretty cool war film, as they're working to free a captured general, with some colorful characters, of course.
Mace, the Mad Major, obsessed by the knowledge that he could not fail.
I know how to properly hold up 3 fingers.
The master criminal. He lived only for the challenge of high adventure.
We're going freaking base jumping!
Scanlon, the demolition demon. He could blow the crystal off a watch.
I'm just here to be the comic relief.
The forger. He could duplicate any signature and make it look better than the original.
I dot the I with a smiley face. And of course, Henry Silva will be the crazy one, because that's why we hired Henry Silva. Corman showed that he could do style very well in the Poe adaptations, and he does wartime action really well too, to the point to where I'm actually very nervous one's gonna fall off that cliff. Also a movie about a secret mission, though this time getting in on the James Bond action, it's Night Train to Paris.
Bent on murder.
Where's the tape?
You took the last Snickers from the vending machine, you prick!
Just imagine a Bond-like espionage thriller where an OSS agent has to deliver an incriminating tape only if the agent were, what? Leslie Nielsen? Yes, Nielsen is Agent Alan Holliday, picking his finest Christmas sweater for this mission. It does almost feel like it'll turn into a comedy.
Here is the suspense-packed drama of plot and counterplot, set against the macabre background of the night train to Paris on New Year's Eve.
Okay, is it the climax to Trading Places now? I love that it has Leslie fighting a man in a bear suit and also traveling with models, and it's a drama. An absolute must-watch as a double feature with Spy Hard. Or you could probably just go see the next film.
Stop! Look!
Goldfinger is cheating at cards! Wow, is September of '64 a great month for film? Certainly in terms of movies I grew up with, featuring my heroes.
He's the idol of every woman. The envy of every man.
God, I wish I had magnificent binoculars of that size. A Bond film I could put on any time, a fairly common thing to say probably, as it was the first I saw in the franchise, and a great one to be anyone's first, as it really set the template for where the series would go from here, from its iconic title song, its use of gadgets, the opening sequences kinda being a short film in and of themselves, and truly iconic villains and henchmen. Plus character names like this.
Who are you?
My name is Pussy Galore.
I'm gonna need you to verify that name with your birth certificate. It's a movie that taught us not to be a dick and pick Oddjob and GoldenEye multiplayer, and not to listen to villain speeches because there's probably gas nearby. You ain't getting your money back.
Goldfinger, I made a delivery. Where is my money?
And you owe me $1 million.
Shit, he must have produced the fall of the Roman Empire. Only Bond can stop his plan to destroy Fort Knox, and in the trailer we get to hear Gert Froba's voice before it was dubbed.
Choose your next witticism carefully, Mr. Bond. It may be your last.
Sorry, I need to check with my voice guy, and I highly request we bring back the term Bond Buster to promote these films. But there were probably some parents who were like, no, we're going to see Hamlet instead. I'll go, it's with Richard Burton, getting in more costumes once he's done introing the trailer.
Since that performance 3.5 centuries ago, Hamlet has become the most talked about, written about, wondered about, and widely produced play of all time.
And I got this Hamlet toy at Comic-Con.
He goes through a history here of some well-known performances of Hamlet, only this will be different.
Now, through a new technical process called electronovision, the entire stage production has been electronically recorded.
Is that a William Castle thing? Is this gonna be in Smellovision? And is he reading from cue cards?
I just played Hamlet. I need a break from memorizing lines.
What the movie is a filmed version of the Broadway production starring Burton, and was a huge hit on stage, coming about due to a coin toss on set of Beckett, where Burton and Peter O'Toole had a gentleman's agreement on which adaptation of Hamlet they should be in. That seems like something that would happen on set of Beckett between slamming some drinks. Going back to a neo-realism type film though, we have the racial drama Nothing But a Man, which is about a romance between a railroad worker and the preacher's daughter in Alabama, and how the romance is deeply frowned upon by her father, and the man deals with his own past with his alcoholic dad. A look at race relations through the eyes of director Michael Romer, who drew upon his own experiences in fleeing Nazi Germany.
Well, that seems heavy. If that's not for you, don't worry. There's yet another Russ Meyer movie right around the corner, as this time he does historical comedy with Fanny Hill, where a young woman looks to make something of her life in London in the 1700s, which means, yes, she will end up working for a madam.
Out with your hoop and your lollipop. The general's here.
I mean, look at the bright side. You could have been one of Olga's girls.
And we've met Lorna this month, but now we meet Lilith. Come for the book, stay for the sexual obsession. This stars Warren Beatty, Gene Seberg, a hot steam and spitting.
Different from all others. Just as Lilith, the picture, is different from all others.
What's Peter Fonda got that I don't got? And pay attention, too. Class is in session.
Of most normal spider species is as distinctive and invariable as their coloring.
Okay, but why is your severed head teaching the class? Here a man works for a mental institution, which, I mean, come on.
One of the top priorities is hooking up with the hottest patient there.
Panned upon release, but got a much better reception over time.
We're redoing the barn romp from Goldfinger, come hell or high water.
This was the last film for director Robert Rossen, previously of The Hustler,
where even the 60s can turn an asylum into a singles club.
Coming up next, we've got a Doomsday War film that isn't hilarious like Dr. Strangelove. No pie fights will be included in this one either.
Get your 007 secret agent pen and disappearing vapor paper separately, or packaged with a 007 secret agent ring and ID bracelet. You'll get a bang out of it.
Welcome to October, people, where there's no Olga films, but there is a movie from the same director, Joe Sarno, this time bringing us warm nights and hot pleasures. It'll be about school, of course.
So you're fed up with school, and I know you're not having it easy.
Little do they know, I can suck a bowling ball through a silly straw. Here 3 college friends go to the big city and look like they're totally into this. I won't tell your wife, I'm guessing you're married. They want to be big-time stars, so it's a casting couch film.
Take your clothes off. And you want to get into show business, don't you? Well, I gotta see if you're qualified, don't I?
Well, that one scene pretty much sums up 60s sleaze. And that's Joseph Sarno's The Harvey Weinstein Story. Hop on board the next film and take a train out of that town.
Suddenly, a man dies at the controls of a train.
The one episode of Thomas the Tank Engine I will not let my son watch.
Suddenly, a car swerves to destruction.
So everyone in this town is drunk, I guess. And I'm afraid of flying, so this is okay. I wouldn't have been on that damn plane to begin with.
This is The Earth Dies Screaming, or at least getting in an afternoon nap. It's not every day you see a 60s movie that later inspired an Atari game. From director Terence Fisher, also of the year's The Horror of It All, here an alien invasion happens by means of robots in space suits.
The Earth dies screaming, and the robots take over.
Take the apron off, baby. You want to be a star, don't you?
It's also like a Night of the Living Dead prototype as well, where survivors are held up fighting off a semi-robot-inspired zombie invasion. Just take away their oil can. They'll stiffen up before you know it. The next film will be much more epic. It's from John Ford and has a filmography crawl.
John Ford has had a distinguished career as a director and producer of motion pictures. The only director ever to have been honored with 6 Academy Awards.
Before the legendary Uwe Ball, obviously. Cheyenne Autumn is a notable film in Ford's catalog. Not that it's one of his more famous, mind you, but it was the last Western he ever made. It was a personal film for him, too, as he wanted to do a movie about the U.S. government's treatment of Native Americans, with comedy moments, of course.
Keep your eye right on Homer. Keep your eye right on the bottle. You're not going to even feel it.
Featuring Jimmy Stewart as Daffy Duck.
He plays Wyatt Earp here, as the film has some different segments, namely it being about a cavalryman escorting the Cheyenne back to their reservation. It's certainly Ford doing another epic with a How the West Was Won feel to it, and it did get an Oscar nomination for cinematography, but unlike How the West Was Won, the movie heavily underperformed at the box office, despite solid reviews and a huge cast including Richard Widmark, Patrick Wayne. We couldn't get Jim Mitchum on the phone. We've also got John Carradine and his bottle of booze, and we see the origin of Khan. Why didn't it do well? It's October and has autumn in the title. Needed a masked killer, I guess. Or maybe we're just interested in the world ending in October. If the Earth ain't gonna die screaming, we're gonna drop bombs on her just to make sure she's gone. We're under such a threat of Soviet destruction that, look at this, they even shattered the picture of the book. Starring Henry Fonda, Failsafe, like Dr. Strangelove, is about an incident that leads to the possibility of a nuclear strike. Only here we don't have Slim Pickens counting his inventory. Instead, it's as serious as a heart attack. Gone is the fighting in the war room, and 10 females for each male. But even though this was also based on a book, the Strangelove producers were happy at the time, like with Incredibly Strange Creatures, and they threatened a lawsuit which resulted in the movie also being released by Columbia under the condition that Strangelove be released first. I bet the makers of Massacre at Camp Sunshine or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Nature were sweating bullets if Kubrick ever saw their film. We're going into some more familiar territory with this film, too.
This woman, before the very eyes of her husband.
Stop, no, don't take my wife, please, no.
Here we've got another Western this month featuring Edward G. Robinson, and like A Fistful of Dollars, this is also a Western remake of a Kurosawa film, this time being Rashomon. And it reunited Paul Newman with HUD director Martin Ritt, where here Newman plays Juan Carrasco, with makeup supplied by Gregory Peck, I'm sure. Newman, however, does more of an accent.
When I see this woman's face, just one look, I know this is woman I must take.
You're from Ohio, cut it out. The film is all about different accounts during a murder trial. I hope that means his accent varies.
About once upon a time he was raped by Juan Carrasco.
What, am I watching some role-playing? And Shatner? Damn it, I wish Shatner was also playing a Spanish man. I'll say this, Paul Newman completely loses himself in the role here. I wouldn't have known it was him if I didn't know beforehand, doing a fabulous job as Texas Jack from The Great Race. And if Cheyenne Autumn wanted to humanize the Native Americans, this one doesn't, and it's gonna rip off another Ford film, The Searchers, while they're at it. It's Blood on the Arrow, where a man survives an attack from the Apaches and sets out to find a missing child kidnapped by the tribe. Like The Quick Gun, it's also directed by Sidney Salkow, and also like The Quick Gun, you should still watch Salkow's far superior 1964 film The Last Man on Earth instead. And Oliver Reed don't need to be the last man to get laid.
Are you setting a trap for me?
Of course.
Honesty. I like that. Dude is a master with the ladies!
And are you going to ask me back to your room?
Yes.
I see.
And are you going to come?
I already have. If you want to see Oliver Reed and his mates hooking up during tourist season and partying the night away, we've got The System, which showcases Reed's talents as a leading man and his alcohol tolerance. You drank the entire party keg. Honey, that's what I call a chaser. From director Michael Winner, later of Death Wish 1 through 3, this one really elevates his talents outside the thriller genre that he'd later be known for, as it's a stylish look at seaside youth culture and a romance too, where Reed ends up accidentally falling in love under the masterful cinematography of Nicholas Roeg, where you can feel the hangovers in all their glory. Soak up this getaway while you can, because we're back to westerns. Damn, earlier in the year I was thinking that 64 had scaled back the number of westerns, but they were just saving them for the last quarter. Here we have Yul Brynner in Invitation to a Gunfighter. What does that mean? Someone's inviting me to look at a gunfighter? Okay. It works very well if you think of it as another day at Westworld.
A lot of women will cry. A lot of men will die before this vicious killer brings a terrorized town to its knees.
That's on you for accepting my invitation. It even has a love triangle as George Segal returns home from the war, only his fiancée left him, the town hates him, and the banker hires a gunman to take him out and sleep with someone's girl, of course.
Last night you let him live. Today you're going to kill him because of something I've said or done.
You told me he snores. I assumed that meant kill him. This town should have thought twice about hiring this killer.
And got a cold-blooded killer who held it in the palm of his gun hand.
Hey, god damn it, we don't have a glass guy. We hung him last week. What the hell? Is he a robot in this? The town wanted a gunslinger, but they got a one-man Irwin Allen disaster film. I'll see the movie, but I'm not RSVPing to this gunfighter. Should have sent him some flowers instead.
Send me.
No flowers.
Just send me.
She, too, is remembering her nights with Oliver Reed. Yes, for the romance crowd, we have the third and final movie in the trilogy of screwball comedies featuring Rock Hudson, Doris Day, and Tony Randall. We just need still shots to convey the zaniness of this film. Honey, I can explain. It's all part of The System. That deserves a slap.
Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling, are you having another nightmare?
Okay, I thought the slaps were done after the Reagan movie, but that was pretty funny. It's a cast of everyone trying to out-handsome each other.
And Clint Walker as Bert.
I am not her good friend, I am her husband.
It's okay, I didn't send her flowers, I just slept with her. Here, Rock is a hypochondriac who thinks he's dying, so he wants to find his wife a new lover. Something tells me it won't be Tony Randall.
God, you've got cold feet. Complaints, complaints, nothing but complaints. I could complain a little too, you know. You ever cut your toenails?
I always forget the odd couple shared the same bed. Directed by Norman Jewison, it didn't get the good reviews that Hudson and Day's previous films had gotten, but they developed enough goodwill with their audience that it still did pretty well, even though I gotta go to the chocolate store now that flowers are out. But in the category of movies that sound like a 70s exploitation film but aren't, it's The Black Torment. It is from director Robert Hartford Davis, who directed the 70s Jim Brown movie Black Gun. This gothic British horror film is in the style of a Hammer movie, as there's a lord, a new wife, a manor, and a sinister mystery that causes the man to think he's going insane and committing murders he has no memory of. Not as well received as a Hammer film, which could have changed if you cast Fred the Hammer Williamson. We also want to remind you that there's still a lot of car racing in 64, so rev up the engine for James Darren in the Lively set.
James Darren's crazy about cars and Pamela Tiffin.
He makes me dress as an Edsel. There's other couples too.
Doug McClure's crazy about Joni Summers. And Joni Summers crazy about Bobby Darin's new song hits.
Hey, I too can sing Beyond the Sea in the Shower. Made to highlight the complete music score from Bobby, and also a starring vehicle for James Darren, as this was the first movie made under his multi-film deal with Universal after his success in the Gidget films. But the movie did have a troubled time getting to theaters, as it's about a man attempting to break a speed record with a new turbine he developed, and it had appearances from racers Dave McDonald and Eddie Sachs, who were tragically killed in a crash that year, leading to the movie being re-edited and delayed to the fall, where it wasn't a colossal hit, but was praised for its sound, which got it an Oscar nomination for sound editing. And don't forget, it's also a year of names, from The Eyes of Annie Jones, The World of Henry Orient, The Three Lives of Thomasina, and now we have the Americanization of Emily, a wartime satire bringing out the one-liners in battle, with James Garner as a naval officer who is sleeping with Mary Poppins?
Oh, easy, Tiger. That's a tailored shirt.
Oh, shut up and let me kiss you.
He's getting himself a spoonful of that sugar. While there's blood on the battlefield, Garner and James Coburn are gonna nail as many broads as possible. It's okay, they're nameless. We don't have to know each other that much. And I've rarely seen the ships do slapstick, or a line like this.
Well, it's a hell of a D-Day, that's all I can say.
That's one way to put it. We did need Julie in the opening of Saving Private Ryan. And of course, Keenan Wynn is back for some war satire. This was another highly acclaimed 1964 film for Julie Andrews, which was praised for its direction from Arthur Hiller, its great dialogue from screenwriter Patty Chayefsky, and the performance from Andrews, which got her a BAFTA nomination. Certainly it was Mary Poppins that got more attention this year, but for a different type of 60s role for her, this is worth checking out, because October is making slaps funny again.
I'm gonna slap your face, Charlie.
Go ahead, I won't hit you back. I'm a coward.
A slap worth freeze-framing it with text. Can't wait to see what's next. Oh, another Western, of course.
A savage nation was at war. Unscrupulous gun runners who lusted for gold.
Can't you all just go play poker in a whorehouse or something? No, there's glass, and Yul Brynner told us to break it. This is another of the month that feels like another John Wayne movie, as Rio Conchos is similar to the Comancheros, as both have to do with selling arms, both feature Stuart Whitman, and both are from the same screenwriter, plus drinking.
Tony Franciosa as Rodriguez, the double-dealing, double-crossing half-breed.
I'm half Paul Newman, and someone listened to my criticism of The Black Torment.
Jim Brown, All-American, All-Pro football star.
I'd have beaten the shit out of those British ghosts. Whoever wins this battle, the horses are still gonna shit a brick. It's okay, the horses will get their revenge.
Frightful Indian tortures.
Hey, if you win this, you can join the Hellcats. Sure hope you're gonna clean up this mess. These westerns have set every American desert on fire. And see, wouldn't you cowboys have had more fun in a brothel? This one has the right idea. There's some cat fighting, but nothing is being set on fire. That's a plus. In The Naked Kiss, Constance Towers stars as a former prostitute, putting her life back together.
When I came to this town, I was a prostitute. Next morning, I quit.
So, does that mean I get a handy for free? Just imagine it as a dark follow-up to Fanny Hill. This was directed by Samuel Fuller after his success with 1963's Shock Corridor, where she has a colorful way of talking about her shady past.
I saw a broken-down piece of machinery. Nothing but the buck, the bed, and the bottle for the rest of my life.
You were hanging out with Oliver Reed, weren't you? Whatever problems come her way in her new suburban lifestyle, she beats it out of the other person. That don't cost extra. It's completely free. For more science fiction, though, what lies beyond the fourth dimension? Well, that's easy. Psychedelic fifth dimension tunes. This is The Time Travelers, where scientists develop a screen where they can not only see into the future, but also travel there to a mutant-inhabited Earth and a font that makes it look like a bread commercial. This is a world where all of our fish tanks can grow trees. And what did I tell you? Making it to the fifth dimension gives them a Stone Soul picnic. Yeah, the 21st century is groovy, baby. You can definitely tell it's working with a B-movie budget.
The Vibratransporter.
Do we keep rolling? Yeah, sure, the set's gonna keep falling apart anyway.
Not to mention gropier robots than the Earth dies screaming. Hey, I do charge, thank you very much. Such innovations in the future. We develop the creepiest crash test dummies, and we get free chest oil. Guys, spread out, spread out! You mean we couldn't have had our brawl in a much larger room? This seems like the kind of movie that could be easily riffed, which it was, in a Netflix MST3K episode. But if you're worried that train was going to be out of commission for the month, it's okay. We literally have a movie called The Train, where, shit, someone wants this train freaking dead too. I think I can. This is a real action wartime epic where nothing is going to stop this train.
They sabotaged it. They bombed it.
And they tried painting a tunnel on a rock and it just went right through it. From action master John Frankenheimer, this stars Burt Lancaster as a French resistance fighter who is going up against a Nazi colonel who's trying to steal various pieces of art amidst the killing.
What he did can make no difference. The train will go on. You have the authority. You can stop it.
That guy wasn't with me, was he?
The film incorporates real train crashes, great stunt work, and if Lancaster ain't gonna get on the train, no one can. Jesus Christ, we just want to deliver some corn, and how the hell did this happen? God only knows what would happen if you just simply put a quarter on the track. Coming up in November, more Elvis, more Apaches, more Mystery Science Theater, and Henry Higgins will make sure Eliza Doolittle can pass as a duchess.
Hey, buddy, you want Kern's bread or Brand X?
Well, what's so good about Kern's bread?
Well, for one thing, it doesn't blow up.
We're in November, people, a time for all family members to come together and give thanks. Or if you're watching one of the movies this month, there may be murder amongst the family. This is Where Love Is Gone, starring Susan Hayward and Bette Davis, where a young girl murders her mother's lover in an act of self-defense. And if you think this might be ripped from the headlines, straight out of a Hollywood piece, it is based on a book by Harold Robbins of The Carpetbaggers, and it's from the director of The Carpetbaggers too, as it's loosely inspired by the real-life murder case of the daughter of Lana Turner, who killed the gangster boyfriend of her mom, albeit the movie version emphasizes the high camp and over-the-top acting. Speaking of campy and over-the-top...
Who are you and who put you up to this?
Whoever sent you, tell them thanks. And Margaret is at her most tempting here.
She's blonde, green-eyed, only 17.
Well, am I terrific?
You're not seducing me, temptress. I've poured concrete on my balls. In Kitten with a Whip, Anne Margaret does a much different type of film in order to shed her musical image after the successes of Bye Bye Birdie and Viva Las Vegas, so she sinks her claws into this role as a psychotic juvenile delinquent who takes over the home of John Forsythe, and she's outstanding here.
You tuck her into bed, you give her money, you buy her clothes. For what? Because your dirty creep whose wife is out of town.
I still regret nothing. It's one I came across on MST3K, and also the first episode where I really got caught up in the movie. The riffs in the episode were great, but I genuinely liked this flick. Not only is Anne Margaret making this man's life hell, but now her no-good friends are joining in. I wish she did more roles like this. She does Bad Girl incredibly well, which the movie knows it because they got her most seductive images to sell the movie. However, I think we can get even more over the top and campier than that.
Santa Claus conquers the Martians.
Kitten with the Whip is the far superior film. Though this may be the MST3K episode I've seen the most, where Martians want to bring Christmas to Mars and kidnap Santa in order to do it. Some like Christmas more than others.
The Martian leader battles the wicked Voldar in a desperate effort to save Santa.
He's just mad because it's way too early in the season for Christmas. We haven't even hit Thanksgiving yet. This acid trip of a movie is a tradition for me. Every Christmas Eve, I sit in front of the glowing TV, in the dark, all curled up, and put this episode on and rest easy for the night. It's a cheap-ass movie, but it's sincere about it. If the Martian actors aren't doing a bunch of dumb jokes, some are acting their asses off like they're on stage, and pipe-smoking John Call is a pretty damn good Santa, to be honest. But for something with a little more prestige.
The unforgettable Caine Mutiny came from the top of the nation's bestseller list to win the acclaim of the world's movie audiences.
You're all paid to be there. Look under your chairs. There's a free book. Youngblood Hawk is from 60s drama king himself, Delmer Daves of A Summer Place Parish and Susan Slade, here setting his sights on the novel world, as James Franciscus is an up-and-coming author who's based loosely on Thomas Wolfe, and boy is he ending up in some clubs.
It isn't often these days we are invited to a running of the stag. You see, the stag had to be a prime young male.
What the hell? You write one bestseller and suddenly you're invited to play the most dangerous game. Don't worry, it's worth it. He's getting so laid now, and he falls for the luscious Suzanne Plachette, reuniting with the director after 62's Rome Adventure. I'm sure most of them come up to the man very confused. Sorry, son, with a name like Youngblood Hawk, I thought you were going to be some kind of Western star. Are you related to Nevada Smith? If you're a fan of Delmer's previous works, this will be right up your alley. It's got the sleaze, the melodrama, the hot chemistry, and actors all lining up for a human piece chess set. The book world is weird. I only participated in some hunting games after I wrote my book. And in another true story film, though this time using real names, it's America's greatest country music man. That's right, Big Bird, or Hank Williams Sr. rather.
Your cheating heart.
Your Cheatin' Heart really is the ballad of 60s movies. Wait a minute, that's not Hank at all. That's George Hamilton.
As George Hamilton brings to life on the screen a man known and loved in 1,000 American cities and towns.
Oh, Hamilton, my bad. We thought you said George Harrison. It's a movie about hard loving and hard drinking. Moving. My keys are around here somewhere. Red buttons will cheer the man up before he deals with the higher-ups.
Cold, Cold Heart. That's a good title. Yeah.
Shit, how do I break it to him that I'm Gene Autry? The more famous he gets, the more she wants him bad.
Wait up for me. You're gonna get awful old and ugly.
Hank wasn't the best at pickup lines. George is really damn good in this and continues to be underrated for his versatility, but we're here to sell a soundtrack, of course.
And a hit parade of the songs Hank Williams made famous. Hey, good looking.
I like this trailer guy. He called me good looking. Thank you. For some action, though, we have one of two movies this month directed by Monty Hellman and co-starring Jack Nicholson, where Flight of Fury, written by Nicholson, is about a plane crash that leads to a fight over jewels, set in the Philippines, where Nicholson wrote it while on a boat traveling there. Its producer, Eddie Romero, even shot a Filipino version of it too, called Cordillera. And if last month gave us train disasters, this month is all about plane crashes, I guess. I hate flying, but if Suzanne Plachette is the stewardess, I'll take my chances.
Expect the unexpected. You're taking off on a flight you'll remember as long as you live.
Which won't be for long, because Fate is the Hunter is about a deadly plane crash. This is shot in Find Out Who Had the Chicken or the Fish vision. It's a drama about the lives of the crew and passengers on board the flight, and show business.
And Jane Russell, who started a private war of her own.
Ew, God, these are soiled! After the crash, which left only one survivor, an investigation happens to see if it was more than just pilot error, and who is sleeping with who, I guess.
From all I know, last year you didn't bounce from a stripper to an heiress to I don't know what else.
Did you fondle my poodles? Sometimes it looks like a disaster film, sometimes like a western. And now what? Is it Ensign Pulver again? Or wait, is it a war picture? A gossip film?
He was the most unreliable, irresponsible, and unregenerate man I ever met.
And I've never had an orgasm like that before. From director Ralph Nelson of Lilies of the Field, you'll get a first-class ticket to see this wreck. Never mind, get the cleanup crew. Thanks for nothing, John McClane.
Other movies are trying to leave their mark this month, but only one will come out on top for awards season.
Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Meet the legendary Jack the Ripper himself.
The glorious motion picture now comes back to the audiences that have paid their tribute in almost unceasing applause.
Yay!
Yes, we're at one of the top films of the year, the classic My Fair Lady, a musical for the betting man in us all.
What about your boast that you could pass her off as a duchess at the embassy ball, eh? I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive if you can make that good.
Yes, well, maybe I'll just bootleg Coors beer across state lines instead.
From the smash hit Lerner and Lowe play comes the movie version, where Rex Harrison reprises his role as Henry Higgins, who knows he can turn Audrey Hepburn into the prom queen. Plus, every duke and earl and peer is here. I think they may be initiating her into a cult.
Don't worry, she's got this.
Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Perfect, you're ready to be a Stepford wife.
And it's quotable, too.
By George, he's got it. By George, he's got it.
Damn right, Rex won his bet and won an Oscar, too. That calls for more singing.
I could have danced all night.
Okay, but could you not right now? We're trying to dress you, damn it. Not only did Rex get a well-deserved Oscar, but this became the second highest grossing movie of '64 and won itself 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. We all remember the great My Fair Lady versus Mary Poppins War of '64, which left cities burning. The '60s took their musical preferences very seriously. But we can have both because, damn, this really was a good year for musicals. We've even got musicals that'll be perfect for the drive-in because, damn right, Elvis is getting in on the musical action this month. And we have lights left over from Viva Las Vegas. Elvis has his motorcycle and he's looking for employment in Roustabout.
There's a lot of space beneath that sky.
But instead, he'll settle for a hospital bed.
If Viva Las Vegas spotlighted the car racing theme of '64, then Roustabout goes the circus route, since there were a lot of those this year too. As long as you're a bigger hit than Circus World, you're good. As here, Elvis finds a job at a traveling circus, where his talents are his badass karate skills that put all the frat guys in their place, and he steals their girls.
Because it isn't right for me. I'm not a one-night stand.
Whoa, baby, who's asking for one night? I just want an hour. Like Viva Las Vegas, this is also a beloved movie in Elvis's filmography, as him being a motorcyclist adds an extra level of cool to his role. It's actually one of my favorite roles of his. Even challenging someone to the ball stand leads to him kicking someone's ass. Come for the bearded lady and the corn dogs, stay to get your panties wet. But in the movie your parents probably wanted to see instead, there's Stage to Thunder Rock, a western from director William Claxton, who also directed the year's Law of the Lawless, and you best believe there's law and lawlessness here too, as a sheriff goes after an outlaw family of a dad and his 2 sons, worth seeing because once more we've got a movie Keenan Wynn is causing more trouble in. Don't let the cold air outside fool you, because winter approaching doesn't mean there won't be another beach movie in theaters where, what's a poop out? Count me out of this pajama party if there's gonna be skid marks on those pants. Yes, no pool is safe from the wackiness. Get on in there, it's a pajama party.
This is a pajama party?
Right? Where the hell is the slasher killer? He should be here by now. This is sometimes considered the 4th in the beach party films, where now it goes science fiction, where Tommy Kirk is a Martian named Go-Go, who studies teen life before the Martian invasion. What?
You're taking away the realism from the other movies.
It didn't take long for this series to get confusing. There are characters who pop up from the others, and has some of the other same actors, but now playing different characters, and Frankie Avalon just has a cameo as a different character. But really, I'm definitely here for the Buster Keaton comeback.
The craziest Indian attack since Custer cracked up.
also turned into an Atari game in the 80s.
There's other things they promote here. While for those who think Young was a Pepsi commercial, this was a big advertisement for Dr. Pepper, as actress Donna Loren was the Dr. Pepper girl at the time. It was still popular though, like a lot of these were, and did so well that American International Pictures signed Buster Keaton to do a few more of these after. As for that other Monty Hellman movie of the year, here it is with an interesting title.
These men are approaching the back door to hell.
What does that mean? It sounds like My Tale is Hot, but about butt stuff. It's actually a World War II movie, shot in the Philippines, of course, as it was filmed back-to-back with Flight to Fury. In fact, while Jack Nicholson was on the boat writing Flight to Fury, co-star John Hackett was on the same boat writing the script for this film. The movie looks like one of those 80s New World Pictures Vietnam movies shot in the Philippines. It's debatable which one would have the most stock footage in it. Speaking of stock footage...
Ever since time began, man has been fascinated by the mystery of the moon.
Oh yeah, at the dawn of man, they couldn't stop talking about the moon. First Men in the Moon gives us more science fiction with a dash of H.G. Wells and Ray Harryhausen, which means it's gonna look epic, if only the real moon landing looked just like this. You told me this was a time machine. Ow! 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 It looks like something Beavis and Butthead would make. Naturally, though, in a movie like this, if you go to the moon, you're gonna meet a race of giant space insects. Embarrassing not bringing your giant can of Raid to the moon picnic. I have a hunch Roland Emmerich is a big fan, as Moonfall just as accurately portrays the moon, though this is filmed in Dynamation. I don't know what that means. I just know they're gonna powder that thing and snort it. How did we not know the moon contained space slugs, or that it was previously conquered by Emerald City?
Soon others will be coming from Earth. Our galleries will be strewn with dead.
So it's 1964 when drugs were first introduced to the decade. They think they've made a fantastic discovery on the moon, but really they're helping to create psychedelic rock. Well, that was fun. Guess we can hitchhike back. Almost as zany as Goodbye Charlie, based on the George Axelrod play, where a womanizer is shot to death by an angry husband. Whoa, that can happen in the 60s? But it's okay, because Charlie the womanizer comes back as hot as hell Debbie Reynolds with amnesia, and seeking help from friend Tony Curtis. He'll help when he can, but Tony also wants to go around banging babes. I'm sure it'll all turn out fine when at the end they write the switch for Blake Edwards. On the documentary circuit, however, was 4 Days in November, which received an Oscar nod for Best Documentary, and it uses a lot of TV footage and recordings to document the JFK assassination. But Larry Buchanan already showed us the trial of Lee Harvey Oswald. Interesting seeing a JFK documentary from Mel Stewart, the director of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's a twist. I figured he would have directed this one. We're not getting out of November without another Western, though, as this time we've got Audie Murphy and Apache Rifles, where yes, he is a cavalryman, and yes, he is sent to bring in the Apaches, and of course falls in love with an Indian missionary. Didn't I just watch this movie last month? Coming up in December, we're closing out the year with more Bette Davis, more Jerry Lewis, more College Girls. Cleopatra makes a comeback, but the one you've been waiting all year for, the return of Arch Hall Jr.
Hi, I'm Donna Lauren. Many words can describe Dr. Pepper. Here's how our caveman friends do it.
One word. Flavor.
Lift.
Light!
Lively.
Jump.
We've hit the end of the year, people, and rest assured, December will give us even more Academy Awards contenders.
Delbert Mann, director of Academy Award winner Marty, brings to the screen another great motion picture, Dear Heart.
This didn't win any Oscars, but it will teach you about business.
They call that a business convention. They have a lot of them here, New York. That's one reason why it's so hard to take business seriously.
Hey buddy, you want to get a shave and a haircut or not? I run a business, you know. In the film, Glenn Ford is Harry, a greeting card salesman, and Geraldine Page is a postmaster, and Harry falls for her when he meets her at a postmaster's convention. Today it'd probably be a Hallmark movie. There's only one hiccup, because of course he's engaged to Angela Lansbury, plus he teaches a thing or two to the young Michael Anderson.
Pat, you just can't go around sleeping with girls at all. Haven't you ever?
That's a stupid question. I'm Glenn Ford. Of course I have.
I think you should go for Barbara Nichols instead.
I can tell you what it says inside of every one of those greeting cards without even looking.
Go ahead, if that's your idea of a big time.
Yeah, wait up, boys. She's got a mouth like a motor, and I'm getting my money's worth tonight. Dear Heart was put out for awards season, mainly for its music by Henry Mancini, which they make prominent in the trailer, and it did get nominated for music, even if the movie came and went. But oh, I gotta check the time. Are we back in 1963 again?
The immortal love story of Cleopatra and Mark Antony has fired the imagination of men.
This is 1964. We're into spy and beach movies now.
Actually, this was a big success for its historical accuracy.
The most daring, the most shocking of them all.
That's right, we're going parody here with Carry On Cleo and a story about Caesar, too.
See the historic stabbing of Julius Caesar and hear his immortal words.
Infamy! They've all got it in for me!
Yes, I remember those words from Shakespeare. We're witnessing all of Caesar's adulterous ways.
Sorry to bother you, sir, but what do you want done with your woman here?
What is that?
It's okay, I met her at a postmaster's convention. Plus, we have appearances from Captain Caveman, and of course Cleopatra herself, avoiding being rolled in a carpet and thrown off a bridge. Like with the year's Carry On Spying, this was not only a highly acclaimed entry in the Carry On series, but is often regarded as one of the best, for its breathtaking spectacle, naturally, and exciting toy store action and romance.
High drama.
Well, that is too zany for me to pleasure myself.
However, that handsome Mark Antony has got nothing on Cary Grant.
Is that anyone we know?
Well, it looks... Oh, it can't be.
Oh, it's Cary Grant.
Hey, you mind not talking during the picture? I'm trying to watch here. What, have they got the audience narrating now? Get the other guy in here. Father Goose is from Ralph Nelson, who just the previous month did Fate as the Hunter, which means there's planes here too, as Cary Grant is an aircraft spotter who has to teach the children and fall in love.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go to bed.
Bring me a bottle of scotch and let's do this. Like a rom-com cross between The African Queen and Cheaper by the Dozen, only with lines like this.
Maybe if you stop straightening pictures and let men wear their own pants, maybe they'd be able to touch you without asking permisso.
It's good they got the assault out of the way on the first date. A big hit with audiences, especially those who resort to alcoholism when the damn kids won't stop making noise. It's also an awards winner, as it won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, but not Most Original Taglines. Oh, gander, Father Goose, I get it. Just show the slaps again. I sure hope they get married. With audiences flocking back to the theaters for the holidays, we need something in full cinerama to give them their money's worth. But oh god, we just had to deal with bratty kids and Father Goose, and now they're on our boat trip? I don't care if it's based on a children's book, and it's like Emil and the Detectives. I didn't see that. I like The Great Mouse Detective. Shot in pristine Super Technorama 70, this is the Golden Head, aka a boom for the Hungarian tourism industry. What's the plot here?
Why do we always have to steal an art object?
The trouble with you is that you always think in pennies.
Of course it has to do with art thieves and whatever's going on here.
Would you like to see something really special? And nobody else will be able to see it today.
Something secret?
Yes.
Well, stranger danger wasn't a thing back then.
Look at this. This is my golden head, like the title of the movie, you see. And that's exactly what Buddy Hackett and George Sanders steal. They needed it for admission to go see a show. Only the Stevenson family can get that golden head back. Why? This had a very troubled production and release. Should have made it an Elvis picture. It is from the director of Jailhouse Rock and Fun in Acapulco. Partly. During filming, Richard Thorpe was replaced by James Hill as director, and it had a lot of trouble finding an audience. It had a brief theatrical run in London before it was pulled quick, and only rarely got screened in the US. It went unseen for decades, but did find an audience all the way in 2019 when it had a special screening screening and a big Blu-ray release as kind of an almost lost big screen comedy epic. It comes across like the Banks kids are now hunting Harry and Marv from Home Alone. Make sure you go up really high, that's where the cinematography will shine. On a slightly smaller budget, though, we have Raiders from Beneath the Sea, a movie advertised like it's a horror film, like, oh shit, they're going scuba diving and are gonna find crab monsters. That's not what the movie's about at all. It's a crime drama where two bank robbers hatch a plan to flee the scene via scuba diving. And there isn't even diving in the film until the last part of it anyway. At least have them bump into King Ghidorah. That had its Japanese release this month. The next one, though, is anything but false advertising. I see a movie called The Disorderly Orderly, and I know right away it's gonna be a Jerry Lewis movie. What job does Jerry have this time? Oh God, tell me he's not in charge of patients' health.
What the hell are you doing, Jerry? This wouldn't have happened if you didn't stand in the parking lot.
This hospital is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
He'll bounce your bed and split your
Okay, case dismissed. That was pretty funny. And what's happening here? Is he a serial killer? His shenanigans are ruining everyone's day. Nurse Ratched is not amused.
What are they gonna do, fire him?
Look at this, even when he packs his bags, he still causes mayhem. Missed opportunity to one day get a crossover between Jerry Lewis and the Fat Boys.
We're all going a little mad this month, some more than others,
as now we have the classic Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte starring Bette Davis reuniting with her Baby Jane director Robert Aldrich, and certainly made off the success of that film, and paid off greatly as it's another beloved thriller of the time. It's the story of a woman who lives as a recluse after she was accused of killing her lover years prior, then possibly gets tormented by ghosts or her cousin. It was actually made to reunite Betty with Joan Crawford, only the gimmick would be that now Betty is the tormented one. But after delays due to Crawford's health, she was replaced by Olivia de Havilland, and these two are still great together.
Why wouldn't I tell him that his pure, darling little girl was having a dirty little affair with a married man?
They're trying to out-top each other, and it's great. We even have scary Agnes Moorehead in here. Like Baby Jane, it's also based on a work by Harry Farrell, and was another hit for this team, gaining 7 Oscar nominations, and it's great to see Olivia go evil.
Now will you shut your mouth?
Clearly possessed by James Caan from Lady in a Cage. She was in that cage for far too long. She went mad. And there's zombies now. Be sure to pick up a shirt from the gift shop once you leave this haunted attraction. And hell, let's get another classic in here with 7 Oscar nominations.
The extraordinary is as rare in motion pictures as it is in life.
Zorba.
Are you paying attention, Academy? There's more where this came from. One of the most famous roles of Anthony Quinn's career, it's Zorba the Greek, where like Glenn Ford, Anthony is also teaching lessons to the young folks.
But there is one sin he will not forgive. If a woman calls a man to her bed and he will not go.
Now get in there and pound that ass like a bowl of fresh dough. Here a writer travels to Crete to revive a mine he inherited, then meets his guide Zorba, and the two spark a friendship while also butting heads. And it's under the gorgeous, scenic eye of director Michael Kakoyanis. Zorba's lust for all of life's greatnesses is infectious, as Quinn truly becomes this character. Not only do you soak in the culture here, but his performance glues you to the screen. Who wouldn't want to party at a whorehouse with this man? Or yell at mountains.
You bastard mountain! I'll eat your guts!
Looks like he's already had his gallon of whiskey before breakfast. This earned its nomination for Best Picture, and definitely earned its win for Best Cinematography, and its place for all film class screenings everywhere, which is what my film class did. And if you're still wondering what Emil and the Detectives is, you should know by now it's based on a famous German book, and this is the 5th adaptation of it. I can see why the trailer for The Golden Head cited it, because this is also a child detective movie, but Disney-fied, as a kid travels to Berlin to deliver money, which is then stolen, so he and some kid detectives search for the thief to get it back. I still want to see The Great Mouse Detective instead. If the lessons of Zorba and Glenn Ford taught us anything, though, it's to get yourself a college girl. Okay, what kind of college girl? Will she cover me in body paint before we have sex? Or am I gonna get lured into a protest I know nothing about? Part beach party type film, part looking for love, part the gods must be crazy? But like how Looking for Love also had someone who dreams of stardom, this one has Marianne Mobley also wanting to be a singer. If her songs will stop giving people seizures, you'll definitely be here for the guest stars. If it isn't already great that the Dave Clark 5 is in it, the Animals are here too.
The Animals, Stan Getz and Astra Gilberto, Freddie Bell, Roberta Lynn, and the Bellboys.
Jerry Lewis is the only bellboy we hire in 64, thank you. This isn't even getting into the plot. It's just, hey, we got Nancy Sinatra here and Peeping Toms.
You, here, this research is very exhausting.
Yes, researching a sequel to The Immoral Mr. T's. Great. This has high-speed action.
You hurt?
She's fine. She was just resurrected as the Crow. On second thought, I don't want to get myself a college girl. If I did this at a party, I'd get arrested. Plus, I'm 43. And I think I know what movie this guy's gonna see this month. It's Kiss Me Quick, another nudie movie, where this time an alien goes to Earth to find himself a woman with the help of a mad scientist, you know, like that Tommy Kirk movie, only if they just looked at tits all day. And
this attempt did not turn out too well. Her name was Fanny Stein.
Her?
Don't call him a her.
Thanks for respecting Frankenstein's pronouns? What? It's also in the genre of Dr. Strangelove titlesploitation, as the original title was Dr. Breedlove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love. Then the title was changed to capitalize on another film, which was Billy Wilder's Kiss Me Stupid. Which is exactly what the next film is, and it'll remind you of other Billy Wilder movies, too.
And Billy Wilder's Irma la Douce?
Hilarious. But what's he done lately?
Damn trailer lady, always wanting more. It's another one about getting into the music industry, and was controversial at the time, since like the Carpetbaggers, it was criticized for being too vulgar from critics who clearly didn't see this one. The movie mainly seems horny.
Hey, Polly, we're just wondering, how do you get that thing to stay in there?
How many more beers before we go home to our pig wives? Here, Ray Walston wants to sell a song to a famous singer. If he can get over his jealousy.
You stay away from my wife, do you hear me? What? Pussyfooting around behind my back.
Get back here so I can shoot you and turn you into Debbie Reynolds. He's got what it takes to be a star. It's partly about the music and more about watching asses shake. They're going the farcical method of selling their songs.
Ray's partner. It was his idea to substitute the cocktail waitress for the wife to fool the boyfriend.
This never would have happened to the Beatles.
You can't sing that song. I told Orville to send it to somebody younger, like the Beatles.
And James Bond said I shouldn't listen to them without earmuffs. Even the trailer people are losing the plot.
If she's the wife, what's she doing with the boyfriend?
Well, she thinks... Oh, you'll have to go see it.
And neither of you have seen the film, have you? If some of these movies are a little like Looking for Love, this one is like another Connie Francis movie. First there was Follow the Boys, where some girls go to another country to find love, whereas in The Pleasure Seekers, Anne Margaret is done tormenting John Forsythe and is back to musicals as she and her friends go to Madrid, which is where the boys are.
How long you been a doctor?
A year?
Where's your office?
In my home.
Great, you just met the serial killer Dr. Poison. 1964 has sex on the mind and is causing all kinds of problems this Christmas.
Hold it! That book!
I guess it is dangerous to read and drive while jerking off. Based on the book that got all the secretaries hot, this is the hit comedy Sex and the Single Girl, where Natalie Wood falls for this cardboard standee of Tony Curtis. And they'll be singing about sex here too.
Mention sex and the single girl.
Best book club I ever joined. Here Tony is a tabloid reporter looking to write about psychologist Natalie Wood, and it's got a big name cast of others too.
Fran Jeffries. And
has other enthusiastic volunteers.
Oh yeah, so enthusiastic she's gonna pretend to get an emergency call and leave. Tony pretends to be one of her patients, all for science, of course.
This picture is not a documentary on love, but it does have real live scientific experiments.
I ever tell you about the biological reasons for a hickey? Maggie Dubois and the great Leslie are having a time before they compete against Professor Fate in the Great Race, while Henry Fonda is just killing time at the girl vending machine. Come on, everyone's doing it, so it must be fun. The trailer editor is dreaming of one day holding hands with a girl. For a proper Christmas movie, you'll have to go to television for Carol for Another Christmas, which is writer Rod Serling's take on Charles Dickens under the direction of legendary director Joseph Mankiewicz, where Sterling Hayden is Daniel Grudge, long depressed after his son died in World War II, so of course he's visited by three ghosts. The film reunited Hayden with his Dr. Strangelove co-star Peter Sellers, and Sellers was getting back to work here, as this was his first movie after he suffered a near-fatal heart attack. I'm assuming he was also visited by ghosts. In theaters, though, you damn right William Castle is back, putting these people under hypnosis.
They are not actors. Listen.
All of a sudden, we walk into a room. I turn around, there's no doors, there's no windows, and I have to go home.
You're right, ma'am. You're not an actor. The hell? What are they dreaming about?
As I go to kiss her, it seems as though we're surrounded by mosquitoes.
Okay, is that a fetish for you? It's a Castle movie that's all about nightmares.
When you dream, you wander into another world where everything is strange and terrifying. You become a night walker.
Actually, I just dream about my teeth falling out and forgetting my locker combination. William Castle will tell us more.
Do you know that a dream can kill you?
Not if I remember the Power Glove. This was the last theatrical film starring Barbara Stanwyck, who plays a woman haunted by nightmares after the death of her husband, and it was the last black and white film from Universal Pictures. Even outside, the dream seemed like a dangerous place.
My lover is only a dream, but he's still more of a man than you!
The fuck? You're getting nothing from me this Christmas. Despite solid reviews praising its cinematography, the movie underperformed. You know why? Castle went sans gimmicks with this flick. Instead, he opted to sell it more with its connections to Psycho writer Robert Bloch, who wrote this film too. And I understand audiences being disappointed. This is a William Castle movie. It should have a gimmick. Like if you dream about sex and murder, the seat in front of you will spray ice on your crotch. We've finally made it to the end of the year, though. Are we closing out with the best one? Well, you tell me. It's an Arch Hall Jr. movie. The answer is obviously yes. From the sadist director James Landis, but written by Arch Sr., so tonally it's more like Ega. This time Arch gets in on the spy action, and yeah, we've had a lot of spy movies recently, but only one has music from future members of Redbone, and combines elements of Western imagery and the Cold War, and a plan that has the Russians wanting to wipe out the US by infecting the population with poisoned rabbits?
Hold everybody! If you shoot this rabbit, we all die. Now all we have to do is to deactivate the vial of pernicious bacteria.
Arch is so damn sincere, even in a movie about poisoned rabbits. That's why I love him. I can't think of a better way to top the year off. Now it's time for our tradition of looking at the winners of the year. 1964 was clearly a year for successful musicals between My Fair Lady and Mary Poppins, but was also a year for racing, the circus, comedy war movies, movies linked with television series, Keenan wins seemingly being in a movie every month, misleading titles, long-ass titles, broken friendships, prostitution, watching asses walk by, watching asses shake. It was also a year for franchises, with the US getting 2 Bond movies this year, 2 Clouseau movies, a lot of Beach Party movies,
And most importantly, Olga, who had 3 movies this year. But the winner of 64 is obviously Names. Names in the title were very big this year, especially when they get very descriptive and specific, like The 7 Faces of Dr. Lau, The World of Henry Orient, The Incredible Mr. Limpet, The Evil of Frankenstein, The Trial of Lee Harvey Oswald, The Eyes of Annie Jones, The Unsinkable Molly Brown, and The Americanization of Emily. You got a name and an adjective or a preposition and you'll be a movie in 64. Now we get ready to hit the mid-60s with 1965 in film. I'm guessing there will be more spy movies, more surf movies, and grittier westerns.
My mistake. More coffins.